To the front page of this paper is a photo here of Antoine Semenyo and Harry Kane, who both play in the big leagues. Harry Kane playing in the German Bundesliga, where he's won back-to-back league titles, and there was two trophies this season for Antoine Semenyo as well. His photo is here. Who would be hitting the back of the net? Would it be Semenyo for Ghana, or would it be Harry Kane for the Three Lions of England? Harry Kane has already been on target at this year's World Cup. Semenyo is yet to score. There's a preview to this game by Peter Saba, who's reporting on those one. The NDC is also on the front page of the paper. They name headquarters after Jerry John Rawlings, former president. There's a photo here of the former First family and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama there, and there's a bust of former President John Dramani Mahama in there as well. Floods claim 18 lives in the central region. All of that on the front page of the paper. So the back page, we're ready to die for Ghana. There's a story attributed to Thomas Branding Asante, also written by Peter Saba. There would get a lot deeper into this very, very shortly. We move on to the Spider newspaper. On the front page, you have Unspoken Voices, launched to transform lives of Kayayi and widows. I recall there was an earlier program under the previous government as well, with the building of hostel facilities and all of that. Looks like we want to go another level. The full story is on page 6 of this paper. Also on the front page of the Spider, checkpoint crackdown ends. Volta Regional Minister declares era of intimidation over. The full story is on page 9. And Adam Brobe finally gets a new chief as Miki Osebeko checkings out. The full story is on page 3. Fire in Bantama NPP. Chairman seizes voting materials. Accuses Boache Asenso of manipulation. And just in case you're wondering who Boache Asenso is, he's a member of parliament for that constituency. And Father's Day, Dr. Julius Debra urges men to embrace faith and perseverance. The full story is on page 7 of the paper. To the back page, MTN Hills Black Stars Panama triumph, rallies nation ahead of Ghana clash. Neodati Lamte is also here, former Ghanaian international. I wouldn't be surprised if Ghana loses to England. Maybe he's only being realistic there. It doesn't take away the fact that he's Ghanaian. To the Overseer newspaper this morning. On the front page, NDC honors Rawlings, renames national headquarters after him. And also here, private security firms cannot legally arm guards for self-protection, according to Dr. Adam Bona, making these comments on the back of what's happened in the last couple of days with the Crystals affirmation. But I have a question to ask them. So until this happened over the weekend, they didn't know that all of these things happened. And what measures did they put in place to ensure that they did not have these arms in the first place? If this thing had not happened, this security agency will still have been possessing all of these arms. Says a lot about how, a lot of, organizations are just sleeping on their jobs. Also on the front page of the paper, Gold Board moves to enhance transparency in gold trade, and 2 in every 100 babies born in Ghana have sickle cell disease, according to health experts. Now that's really worrying indeed. 2 out of every 100, not 2 out of 100,000 or 2 out of 2 million or something like that. Also on the front page, you have Parliament to engage DRIP Secretariat over flood-damaged roads in the eastern region. The full story is on page 4. And police summon Kwadwo Safo Akofina over shooting incident involving former Domekwa MP. What we do understand at this point is that he reported himself to the authorities and he was kept in custody. To the front page of the New Republic newspaper, Yoko opens Edubuahin's rap sheet, reveals how couple moved $7 million cyber fund into a Phantom Bureau's account spend, blown cash and quietly closed the account to wipe off evidence. The full story is on page 3. Supreme evidence in Samra Boy case, Wuntumi waits, 2 dead, 1,304 residents displaced. Here there's a very worrying photo of as many houses literally submerged under water. Also on the front page of the paper, NDC renames headquarters Rawlings House as Mahama seeks UDT, and Crystal of succession war escalates. The full story is on page 7, and Ked vows revenge. The full story is on page 4. Let me move on to the Economy Times newspaper. It looks like a lot of business stories on the front page here. Banks face remittance cleanup as BOG deadline looms. There's a story here by Elikem Desowu with a photo of the BOG governor, Dr. Johnson Asiama. Also here, latest PPI data warns of possible rise in headline inflation and falling global price. Test Ghana's import quota plan. Let's just focus on our local rice and we will be fine. The thing is, do we have plans to grow in that area? To the front page of the Catalyst newspaper, legacy, loyalty, and leadership. NDC pays historic tribute to founder. And there's a very, very old photo here of President Rawlings with all the white beard. Late former president, of course. Mahama calls for renewal of Rawlings's ideals. The full story is on page 2. And Christopher militia also in the news. Are they a militia or are they a private security? That's what the paper is asking this morning. To the front page of the National Enquirer newspaper, Adam Broby gets new chief. Dankwa installed. Miki Osebeko withdraws. Mahama tributes Rawlings, NDC, and at him. There's a photo here of President John Dramani Mahama together with the family or the children of former President Jerry John Rawlings. I see Azanato in the photo, Kimathi in the photo. There is also Amina and Santua in here as well. Invest in children's moral future. Julius Debra charges fathers on Father's Day. And Mahama salutes Navrungo Borga Diocese. 120 years of service. The full story is on page 4. Also on the front page of the paper, you have NPA donates essential supplies to Accra Psychiatric Hospital. And Northridge flooding raises alarm over planning failures. There's a story attributed to a planning expert, Lutrod, here. Let me move on to the Hawk newspaper. NPP rebels demand Kennedy's head before 2027 showdown. The full story is on page 10. And Goldboard wins gold in London. World giants throw weight behind Ghana reforms. The full story is on page 6. There's a photo here of the deputy CEO, Richard Nunekbeku. Also on the front page of the paper, you have energy reforms driving industry and trade. There's a photo here of Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor. The full story is on page 6. IGP sends crack squad to Nkwanta. Special unit deployed as tensions flare. Residents fear for safety. And Abredu sounds red alert over food reserve cash gap. And he's the CEO of the National Buffer Stock. Let me wrap up with the New Republic newspaper this morning. The New Republic is reporting that Yoko opens Edubuahen's rap sheet and stories about a $7 million cyber fund story. NDC renames headquarters after President Mahama, and evidence, supreme evidence in Summer Boy case also here, as many buildings are submerged following rains here as well. Okay, so these are the stories in the newspapers. So let me touch base with the online platforms as well and start with the Class FM online portal and have a look at the stories that are there. I know the Black Stars will be the dominant one, but that big story coming through with respect to increases in electricity and water tariffs have gotten people talking. That story is here. PURC announces increase in electricity and water tariffs effective July 1. And headmasters risk removal over extravagant student gift ceremonies. They call them graduation ceremonies. Okay. Crystal's affirmation is the news. Nana Kojo Safo Akofina installed as new leader, but he's been picked up from what we're told. There are also other stories in here as well. The Black Stars are in the news. Remember, we're going to be in action against the Three Lions of England later this evening. Falling gold prices raises concerns over Ghana's export earnings and foreign inflows. Ghana has records Africa's highest lending rates. Agriculture Minister pledges support for food, and GFL General Secretary urges patience here. There are also stories in the world of entertainment. Van Vicker is here. He graduated with the first class honors in LLB. He wants to be a lawyer as well. And then, of course, there are many stories on the World Cup. Let me wrap up the online presence with the High Street Journal, which is one of the online portals that we review on this platform every single day. The big story in here: PULC announces third quarter tariff hikes, while low utility costs are crucial for Ghana's competitive edge. Also here, you have BOG still borrowing higher with OMO, feeding banks while TB rates slump. Cannabis industry questions dollar-pegged licensing as investment concerns grows. World Bank holds AFWU 2026 today, a focus on youth centers job creation in West and Central Africa. And then also here, getting Ghanaians to own a natural resource. Maybe focus should be on the dormant upstream petroleum sector, not the existing mines. And then you have some stories on the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. OFA rolls out fertilizer drones to boost agricultural production under Feed Ghana initiative. Ghana to extend labor protection to gig workers under new reforms. And Ghana's economic transformation demands real youth visibility. That's also here. And you have Atachi and taking over. Okay, so that's pretty much an old story with the Bunsumi case. Together with stories on the international front as well. So make your way to the highstreetjournal.com and get to read as many of these stories. Okay, so let's quickly get into the stories. If I could have the daily graphic, there's some stories there on the front page that got my attention. Quickly, okay, so the front page has at least three major stories that I would want us to look at. Of course, one is purely political, pretty much to do with the NDC, which is also on the front pages of many of the papers. But that big one between Ghana and England has also found its way there, and the floods would not stop. Yesterday it was raining, not as intense, but these days, the moment the rain starts, for people like Lisa who live with the rich in Sakumono, they don't experience floods. The place is clean.
Kwame, my area is well structured.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, places like Sakumono, unless you are going towards Klagon side, yeah, and then you hit that corner that goes to Ajekojo there.
I think Klagon, I think because of the road, when they are done fixing it, everything will be fine. No, from Spinters, Lashibi, Sakomono, heading to Tema, everything, the place is well structured.
Oh, but even Spinters, there are some places that flood.
No, but like the way you would hear other communities flooding and stuff, no, you don't usually hear that from Spinters or Sakomono, that somebody has died or a building has collapsed, and nah. You don't get that. It's just some minor water stagnant here and there, but yeah, we are good to go.
You're not like the people at Santo.
I am not mentioning names.
Okay. Your community is called Santo, and you have changed the name to East Legon Hills. The floods would expose you, Poto. I mean, when it rains, go and see the floods there. The place is called Santo. You have decided to call it East Legon Hills.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into the stories. I want us to quickly look at these three stories, because it looks like most of these stories are on the front pages of all the other papers. As
Kwame, let's look at the game today. What are your predictions? Kwame, today we're asked to wear Blackstar jersey, and you are not wearing.
The day is long. I have a lot of things to do. I want to use one dress to kill all of them.
No, but that's why you have a car. That's why we have a hanger. You could just hang your suit in there.
I can't wear the jersey in this cold.
Kwame,
and sit here for 4 hours. The cold will enter me.
That's why. So you have the suit, you wear the jersey, then you wear.
I need the tie to cover.
No. Kwame, you are not being a patriotic citizen of this country at all.
Okay, so this is the thing. You see the jersey that you are wearing.
I'm not.
So your mouth or you are not even wearing a jersey. Your mouth or you are not even wearing a jersey. And it's one thing. I don't know if you've noticed in the last maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, especially after we won our game, the jerseys have just sprung up.
Yeah.
You know, people were worried about the pricing.
Yeah.
Because if you went to the elite shops, just 1,000. 1,002.
No, 1,000 were 1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing 1,000 and over.
That is the
me, my old one is still there.
The
So
original.
So that's the original.
That's the actual, the original.
So the ones here are the Mayanka ones.
Yeah, just
okay.
the replica. And
that one is 200 and 150.
That's two. You get one for 170, 200 cedis, 130 cedis, depending on your
130 cedis. Even that's on the high side. Minimum wage now 22 cedis.
No, Kwame, that's
so that's 5 days of minimum wage. You want me to use to go and black stars this? Boy.
That's why other people are doing different kinds of the jersey. So if you can't go in for the normal Black Star jersey because of the pricing, we have other brands coming up with different ideas. You see some with only the Black Stars, with some with the
spider.
The symbols, the decraft symbols, the creating, like the one I wore that was last week. With the
you gave us luck.
with the decraft
We beat
symbol
Panama on that day. Yeah.
You know, now Ghanaians are being creative, and I like the fact that they're being creative when it comes to the jersey and
they
stuff.
don't have one for 50 cities.
And they do.
50 Ghana.
No, 50 cities. I think the list would be like 80 cities.
Even if I go to Kanta and get 50 Ghana.
Kwame, 80 cities. 80 cities. It depends because I saw some
me, I've
advertising.
not bothered asking because I wanted to buy the original.
I went to Tema and I asked. Those are not the quality.
Yeah, those are the Bob Blue ranks.
Yeah, so for maybe
on the one they are selling on the floor.
That is where you see the different kinds of colors. The colors also depends the kind of quality you're wearing. When it comes to I'm talking about the actual jersey, you see the original with the yellow, some with a bit not that yellowish color. You know, there are so many different kinds of jersey springing up. Especially it started with the Independence Day, where Ghanaians.
The Sith March,
when Ghanaians decided to go in for the jersey to take pictures and post, and I've seen quite a number of people wearing it nowadays. It's nice. It is.
Okay. Yeah. This morning on my way, I did see quite a number of people where they are just some to they can't be bothered, and they were just living their lives, I guess.
I'm yet to see a number of people wearing it today, but the opening
for our first game, I had a lot of people.
A lot of people with cars.
This the thing is a Tuesday, so if your organization allows. Then you can wear it. But on a Tuesday, normally you're going to be in something fairly formal.
Yeah.
So if your organization allows,
or even the organizations are doing this kind of short skate videos and posting
some of them.
No, Kwame, almost even the government institutions. When you go on TikTok, you see the Ministry for Defense, the Interior, Communications, and other.
I've seen the banks do it as well.
Yeah. So I think now it's something that they are accepting it. When it's maybe Ghana is playing a football match, you are allowed to wear it. Maybe you could wear your suit on top of it if you want to look a bit formal. And so it's been accepted. And I like the way Ghanaians are being.
There's a story here by Peter Saba, and I'll quickly go through that. It's on the front page of the Daily Graphic, and it's like the stories on the front pages of the Daily Graphic is on the front pages of almost all the papers,
especially the renaming of the NDC.
That's right. That story appears to be everywhere. We'll look at that as well. But today we want to be a bit patriotic and focus on the Black Stars. A story here by Peter Saba. I'll just read bits and portions of that story. Peter Saba goes on to write that enigmatic Black Stars face a tough test in their 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign against former colonial masters England in a highly anticipated Group L cliffhanger at the Foxborough Stadium tonight at 8 p.m. The Black Stars head into this destiny-defining encounter, seeking a historic victory that would secure them a much-needed qualification to the knockout stage with a game to spare. Though a Herculean task, a win for the Black Stars would enlist them in the history books as the first Black Stars to defeat the Three Lions in a competitive duel at the senior level. After their dramatic 1-0 victory on matchday 1 against Panama in Toronto, Carlos Queiroz' men have grown in confidence and can defy the odds again on football's biggest stage. Certainly riding over England will not only guarantee Ghana's progression to the next stage, but would also rank the Stars amongst the most significant upsets in World Cup history. Given the stature and pedigree of their opponents, the Black Stars appeared destined to settle for a barren draw against Panama until Caleb Ritchie scored a late winner in that game, and the story goes on and on and on. For those of you who love all the statistics and who has scored how many goals and who has conceded how many goals, all of those things are captured in the story written by Peter Saba there. This morning we're going to be having a lot of conversations, but Lizzie, are we winning?
Oh, Kwame, yes. Yeah.
Who's scoring?
Oh, Ghana. Oh, Kwame.
Don't,
I'm a Ghanaian.
Don't tell me KOJ is scoring.
Pate is there. Semenyo is there.
Yeah, Pate is back for this one. You know, the visa issues with the Canada game, you know, was unfortunate, if I would say that. But at least now he's available. The only challenge is that we do not know his state of mind going into this one, and he's also not being at a very decent form at the club level. He's one of our big players, but at the club level, he wasn't playing much this season, and now to he's aging small. And so a combination.
Yeah, I think he knows people are putting their hope in him, so he would perform. You know, as they say, men are built in a way to sometimes put emotions aside. That's and right. Just do your work, and so he's a man. He should man up. Now, when
it comes to issues, you should man up. When it comes to money,
like we love money. So
when
you guys,
money, they'll be speaking English.
You should man up because at the end of the day, his performance will determine if you'll be part of. You know, if he performs poorly, then they'll start attributing it to whatever is happening. And
that's the thing. When we do well, we'll gloss over that one. If we do not do well, then all of a sudden, all of these stories will be popping up.
So he will do everything to prove that whatever is happening in his life currently is not affecting his career as the footballer he's playing. So he will put in his best and he would perform. We have Andre Ayew, Jordan Ayew, we have Baba Rahman. Well, you guys don't
want enemies for yourself.
Kwame, that's my first player. You guys don't
that's what I'm saying. You want enemies for yourself.
Caleb Ritchie is also there. Yeah. Oh, we have the ones I know their names. Yeah. Those are the ones I'm mentioning. And we have Benjamin Asari. Kwame, I'm mentioning.
Morvin. Mention 10.
Atizigi is also there.
Yeah, 6.
Who else? Kwame Asari.
Charlie, Lizzie has tried. Some people in this house, they can't mention 3.
Oh, as time goes on, we'll get used to their names.
Some people in this house cannot do 3, yeah. And that's the thing, you know, so going into this World Cup.
The moment you score and you're performing, your name will be in people's head. Yes.
Of course.
So they should do well and try and score and perform. The moment you start performing, your names will be will just automatically get in our head. Like Caleb Ritchie, like this. Me, I wouldn't have remembered his name or know that he's part of the game until he scored a game.
That's right.
The last minute game that made him popular, and he's all over. Yeah, so when you perform well, your name will be everywhere. Yeah, so we are rooting for them. Yeah, 1-0. So
1-0 for Ghana.
Yeah,
okay, who's scoring?
Yeah. Oh, for Nami, I don't know. Whoever scores, everybody's
you don't care like that.
No, potential scorer. And the fact that you could make us qualify, that's the most important thing. Yeah, yeah.
At 8 p.m., we'll all be glued to our TV sets and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of videos of the pastors prophesying.
Oh, come.
I just want to watch quietly. God is not only a Ghanaian.
God is everywhere.
Yeah, he created all of us.
God is everywhere.
I've seen, I don't know.
Some people say he has favorites, so
okay.
So maybe Ghana
is one of God's favorites.
God's favorite. So
okay.
He would move our legs to the player's leg to move faster to be scoring the goals or blind the eyes of the goalkeeper.
Okay. Heaven helps those who help themselves.
Yeah.
We'll see. We wish the Black Stars the best
Oh,
of luck.
yeah,
We'll be having
yeah.
a lot more conversations in the course of this show, engaging the thoughts of our coaches and all of that. Because there are some who say, hey, England, yeah, baby. But we'll see. Also on the front page, just like most of the papers this morning, the NDC renaming their headquarters after former President Jerry John Rawlings here. This was coming. The only thing is that if the man was alive, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh, yesterday, John Dramani Mahama, he said it.
Yeah. No, it's always been like that. I recall the first time there were conversations when UDS started in the north, for example, because that was the first university in those parts, and because of what he had done for the northern part of Ghana. I have a friend from primary school. I visited their parents many years ago as a kid, and one of the things that they are so passionate about when it comes to, they don't really like politics, but when it comes to the NDC, it's not something that they toy with when it comes to the NDC. And the father said it was during Rawlings' time that electricity came to their hometown, not during the 90s where we had democracy. In the 80s, they didn't have electricity in their hometowns. And he said there are a long stretch of communities in the north like that who did not have electricity before Rawlings came following the coup in 81. That's why you will notice that when you go to the northern part of Ghana today, there are a lot of them who may not necessarily be crazy politicians, but they love, a thing or two that President Rawlings did for them, and that's why they appear to constantly vote for the NDC, because of what they have experienced.
So you see that the fight against taking politics, stopping NDC MPP, then will be very difficult.
At some point, if we have, I don't know whether we would ever get there, if we have a third, that's what the parties would have. But as to whether they will be strong enough to offer as an alternative away from the NPP and the NDC, me, I've been praying for that. It's just that I don't see it, because the two of them.
It will be very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Let me get into the story. It's written by Dixon Walanyo Duchi. I'll read some small assets here. President John Dramani Mahama has said that the greatest tribute to the National Democratic Congress and the nation, to Jerry John Rawlings, is to continue the work the former president started and to uphold the values he championed throughout his life. He said the late statesman's vision of social justice, accountability, national service, and the empowerment of ordinary citizens remain relevant to Ghana's development and democratic progress. Quote, "The greatest honor we can bestow on those who build this movement is not merely to remember them occasionally, it is to continue the work they started," the president stated. The president was speaking at the ceremony to rename the NDC headquarters as Jerry John Rawlings' house, where a bust was unveiled in honor of the party founder in Accra. And the story goes on and on and on. It took me a long time to get used to Jerry John Rawlings, because at a very early age, and I remember the story very well because my dad read history at the university. For a very long, he kept on telling us stories about the name not being Jerry John Rawlings, and the name had been not arranged properly. And I was like, what's the meaning of that? I remember this so well. I must be in primary at the time. And he actually said his name is Jeremiah Rawlings John.
Oh, okay.
So anybody who attended Ashmota in the 60s, and my dad went to Upukuwari in Kumasi, but I think at some point they interfaced somewhere. Said his name was Jeremiah Rawlings John. The challenge was that when they all left secondary school in those days, and he wanted a job in the army, how can John be your surname?
Yeah.
So somebody changed the order,
which is quite normal in Ghana.
somebody changed the order, and that is how it starts with Jerry John Rawlings.
Surprisingly, that's normal in our part of the country. Somebody will just change
your name. Just put your name. What's that?
Oh yeah.
For me, the thing that stands out beyond that story was what he stood for. If you lived in the 80s and the early 90s before we had democracy, you heard a lot of things. We didn't have social media. We were okay at like that. Internet we were okay like that. Your best bet was newspapers in those days. Radio, it was only Radio Ghana, and then we had only GTV. So in the morning, in your area you live, there are a lot of people who sell newspapers, like the way we are reviewing them here. So you go, and there are a lot of stories about PNDC this, PNDC that, PNDC this, PNDC that. There were the opposition newspapers. They were always bashing him, I remember. And then there were those who appeared to, if you like, side with his works. And it was almost a case of he doing something, like almost all the time. And again, if I remember, in those days when you watch the news on GTV, I think it was still 7 to 8, just like it is till this day. If you take, let's say, the 1 hour bulletin, the major news bulletin, there was a possibility you could get to see about 5 or 6 or 7 stories about Rawlings in that 1 hour bulletin. I recall very well. But it wasn't stories of aggrandizements where he's showing off, where he's traveling or something like that. Those were the days television helped us to know Ghana. So today the president is commissioning a factory in somewhere, and most of them were not like the familiar big towns like that we get to know today. So it was always like that. He was always doing something, some school somewhere, some building somewhere, some agri project somewhere, some school somewhere. It was always like that, and that's why I get excited when I hear President Mahama say he wasn't one who was so keen about having things named after him. It was about what he did for the people, and we having him in our hearts,
in mind.
And that's why I told the story of this friend of mine who come from the north. Till this day, his father is aged now. His father is in his 80s, but till this day, anytime I visit them, it's one of the stories that comes up. But for Rawlings, we wouldn't have had a university, we wouldn't have had roads, we wouldn't have this, have that, and have that. So yesterday, when I saw the story, I was quite touched, just that, like the president said, if he was alive,
he wouldn't have.
he wouldn't have been interested.
Yeah.
And again, the bit with his kids as well. Yeah, we know Zaneto is pretty much in the limelight.
Yeah.
But it looks like the other children are also, maybe they are minding their business.
Yeah.
But every now and then we get to see them.
Especially the guy.
Yeah.
But the two other ladies, Santo and the other one.
They're minding their business.
Yeah.
It's only programs like this you see them, and when they show up, they don't even speak.
No,
they don't grant interviews.
Not
they don't like attention. They are just minding their business. Okay, so congrats to the NDC for thus honor done former President John Dramani Mahama, and the bits that he touched on about there was a liner there. The full story is on page 13, and I want Lizzie to help me with that. That the former president was focused on social justice 1, accountability 2, national service 3, and the empowerment of ordinary citizens 4. The Pharisees who are ruling us today, do they think like this?
Every leader has their vision and what they want to do for the country. So that was it. And those who are following their path are following. Those who
are chopping our money to our chopping.
Who are going the other way are also going. It's all about the mindset and whatever each person or the vision the other party has for the country, something the country belongs to them. So when they come to power, they would want to take it. Some also think we are all in the country. Let's make things easy for Ghanaians so that everybody could live peaceful and not be a burden on the other person. So it's the vision and the mindset of everyone and the upbringing. Mostly I also say the upbringing and what you are fed from your infancy, the kind of stories you hear, what you are being told would also shape your mind and what you would want to become when you grow up. If you want to rule the country, if you think what you were told from the beginning, you think the country belongs to your forefathers, when you come, you want to take the country for yourself and the resources, and you wouldn't listen to anybody. And if you think your upbringing, the information you had was the country was founded by this person, and the person that founded it was fighting for justice or fighting for the freedom, so that every individual could also live peacefully and have something to do with themselves. Then they go that way and also build the country accordingly. I mean, I would say every party that comes to power, one way or the other, they would want to make something for themselves, get money for themselves. But the rate at which some people do it, that is the problem. Because the ordinary Ghanaian would want money before they vote for you. They want you to come and wash. They want you to come and pound fufu. Even nurse their newborn baby for them. Go to if they would want you to even go to the farm with them. Come to their funeral, weddings. You see, it becomes burdensome, and they invest a lot of money. So you ask yourself, where are they getting the money from? So the moment they come to power, one way or the other, they want to make those kind of money that they've spent in winning power to come and rule you. So they think of them, their selves first. Every human being is selfish one way or the other. They'll think of making money for themselves. When they are done, they'll think of the ordinary citizen. But the rate at which some people do it, Kwame, is crazy. And there's a kind of saying, Kwana Ubedi.
Oh.
The buildings that you have everywhere, how many of them are you even sleeping in? You have like 10-bedroom houses, 15-bedroom for your family, and surprisingly, you only have yourself, your wife, and 2 children. And at the end of the day, when those children grow up, they don't even want to stay in that house.
You know, a lot of people, especially here in Accra, rent is at a certain level.
Yeah.
So if you're not lucky or fortunate enough, and maybe your parents or your family have somewhere where you can lay your head, then there's a struggle. Drive around some areas in Accra and you get to realize how many empty houses.
Yeah.
Even here, this area, there are lots of them.
Yeah.
There's no one inside though.
Nobody.
And you know the funny thing, these houses were built by commoners like you and me. The laborers we see, those who are on the very low end. When you are walking in some of these communities, and per chance, or if you happen to find yourself living in some of these communities, per chance you start a conversation with them, they will tell you, hey, this house is for this man, this house is for this man, this house is for they will tell you for free. And most of these houses they are just there rotting away. Nobody even lives in them.
No.
A caretaker has been living in some of their houses for 10 years, 7 years. They have stolen our money to build all of these houses. If they are lucky, every now and then somebody will come and rent, and then they'll collect some money. But most of them go to areas here, Labone, cantonments. These days, I am told on the stretch from Adenta going there, all the way to those communities, Frafraha, Ayi Mensa, Danfao, Tinibi, Pantine. The houses are there, plenty. Obianti. You have to leave our money to build houses. And we are here.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Nobody's telling you not to invest or something, but
the rates.
Yeah, the rate at which you would want to do certain things. Know what I'm saying? If you have 10 children and you build a 10-bedroom apartment, nobody has any problem with you. But you now, your child is
with
just
decent money, of course.
Yeah, with with decent money. Let's say if you're stealing the ordinary taxpayers' money to do it, you do it moderately. Because you can't tell them to stop. They will not stop. They will not stop. But you see them putting up buildings. At the end of the day, they're not even living in, and sometimes the land that they even forget that I have this land here, I have this house here, I have this, and they have some of the cars will just be there, just
they don't even drive them.
No, I didn't. So I feel that's what I'm saying. Every leader and their vision and what they want to do for the country.
Yeah, you go chop.
For the country. So let's see if President Mahama leaves, the other leader that will come would also have his or her vision for the country. Yeah.
Hopefully, going forward, we'll be having selfless leaders like that, because I remember in those days there were some particular private newspapers. I remember them very well: Free Press, Independence. And a few others I may not recall now. Charlie, it was like daily rollings. almost every day they had something against the man. Almost every day. I remember there were stories. He has this. He has this. He has this.
Yeah.
Charlie, the man died and said that
I mean, I say that we're always saying that as time goes on, we would have leaders coming up with different selfless leaders coming up. But I also say that these same people are being trained by these people, these leaders, because one way or the other, we have everybody has somebody who is being trained by somebody else.
Yeah.
So what you are being, that's what I'm saying, the kind of information that you are being fed is how you rule the country, is how you relate with the other person. If you are always told that and somebody stole it from you, so when you come, the moment you come, you are always fighting to get power. So the moment you come, that is when you are so eager to take that particular thing from whoever stole it from. So
that's right.
In as much as you are being trained by someone, you should also have an independent mind. Look at things the other way around. At the end of the day, if you can't fight, what are you going to do with it? Even at the end of the day, even the land that you are even fighting for, I'm not even sure you'll be even interested in. But because you have been informed that this thing was from this person and they fought for it and they took it, you don't even get to hear the other version or the other side of whatever is happening, and you just take a stand and you start doing whatever. So I feel, in as much as you are being trained, you should have an independent mind. From there, we could say that we'll be having these selfless leaders and the upcoming leaders that would think of the country. But at the end of the day, well, let's see how it goes.
Someday we would have selfless leaders. But the story also on page 13 of the Daily Graphic, it's a bigger picture. It's a bigger conundrum for me. The thing with the floods. Small rain or flood. Small rain or flood. And yesterday, I had a very terrible experience I'll be sharing on the piece of my mind. But before I get there, this story is very sad indeed. The floods have claimed 18 lives in the central region, and NADMO is ordering the evacuation of unsafe buildings. You know what upsets me about some of these stories, even before you read them? NADMO is ordering the evacuation of unsafe buildings. At what point did we realize that the buildings were unsafe, so people should not live in them? We wait for there to be a problem. Now we are telling them to evacuate. So who is checking to ensure that the buildings themselves are safe?
Kwame, sometimes I don't blame authorities, because these people sometimes don't even go for permits to start building. As they will say.
But you can't just build. You need permission to build. And someone should be supervising that. There's a metropolitan assembly, there's a municipal assembly, there's a district. You can't just build.
Kwame, we always have something that we call protocol.
Even going to buy beans,
you would pay. You always have something called protocol, that you would pay huge amounts of money for the person to give you permit, because you know where you are going to build this house as not good, as you are not permitted to build there. But the moment these people, this TMA, this Ladadeko municipality comes around, you have the permit. What can they do? You've secured it.
Yeah, but if we investigate and it turns out not to be one that has been issued by the authority, or if it turns out that there's an issue, you can always revoke it, pull the building down if the building is on the waterway, serve as a deterrent to people.
Those permits are genuinely given by those people working in those institutions.
Connection documents.
That's what I'm saying, protocols and connections. You will get it easily. I know this person, give me this amount of money, let me go for this thing for you. You will get it easily. And now the new trend is they'll go and buy the paint themselves, and there's paint stop work. Every week when you come there, the building is moving up. Every week the building is moving up.
But meanwhile, they have written stop work produce permits.
They've written stop work.
Is that not the reason why the authorities should even be asking it? Because if you go see a property and they've written stop work produce permits, and let's say when you went, the house was at foundation level, and then the next time you went there, the house is at lintel level, and it is still stop work produce permits, and these people have still not produced the permits, yet they are still building, and you are sitting there aloof.
Kwame, the people that gave the permits are even part of the land guards or whoever goes around to check these buildings. They are sometimes they are just moving around for moving sake. They are moving around for moving sake.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
We
Why?
come for money and just leave whatever, langas, whatever. We just leave it and just find their way out.
It reminds me so much of ECG before the prepaid meter scheme.
Yeah.
An ECG person comes to your house. They want to come and check your bill. In those days, I don't know if you have recollections of that. Then they ask for the blue and white paper, the one that has your bill. There was some blue and white paper. They will ask for the bill. So let's say you owe, or maybe you've not paid for a month or two or something like that. And then you have this officer who will be saying they are going to disconnect. Today, if your money goes off, it goes off. It will disconnect. But in those days, they'll mount where the what do they call that? Where the meter, where so they will disconnect some wires, and then you give them some coins now. But I remember some of these things because of how some of them acted. They will take the money and they will go like, but make sure that you go and pay, because next time it may not be me who will come for the rounds. It will be another person.
When the light is even disconnected, when you have a friend who's an electrician, when they move, you see some people, their lights have been disconnected. Whenever they come, the light is disconnected, but in the evening they have lights.
Because they've seen the local.
Ghanaians,
Let me just read portions of the story by Joanna Kumi in Cape Coast. She says at least 18 people, so it could be more, have died and hundreds displaced after devastating floods, collapsed buildings, mudslides, drowning incidents, and falling trees wreaked havoc across the central region over the weekend. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, which disclosed this, said it had ordered the evacuation of unsafe buildings in affected communities. The organization said nearly 9,000 residents had been affected by the multiple disasters. The Central Regional Minister of NADMO, Director of NADMO, Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood, said the disasters triggered by torrential rain that pounded the region over the weekend affected 13 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, with Cape Coast metropolis emerging as the hardest hit. According to him, Cape Coast alone recorded 6 deaths, 5 of which resulted from building collapses, while 1 person drowned. If you look at the communities that have been captured in the story, and I'll just run through them quickly. The affected areas include Cape Coast, we mentioned that, KEA or Commander Denai for Brim, Infantiman, AAK, Abra Asebu Kwame Kese, Upper Dentra East, Upper Dentra West, Eutusinya West, and several other districts. But Lizzie, this is of importance to me. The 5 of the people who died in Cape Coast, it was as a result of building collapses.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a possibility that the buildings themselves were not in good shape before the rains.
Yeah.
There is that possibility. There could also be the possibility that the buildings were in a fairly decent shape. They have not specified a particular area that this is, because if you go to places like Pedu, which is not too far from Adisadel College, there are some very old houses there. Adisadel itself is a very old school, and just around some of those communities, you see buildings that are 100 years old, some even over 100 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, because of all of this colonial history and all of that. People live in them. Sometimes, even when you are driving past some of these old buildings, you can see that the building is tired, but people live in them. We don't say anything. We don't do anything. Now the rains have come. They have taken their lives.
Kwame, if the people who live in them are not saying anything, what would you, the ordinary person passing by, would do? Because at the end of the day, if authority go there to say the building is not in good shape, break it down and build another one, the ordinary Ghanaian will tell you, give me money to do that. And maybe they also don't have the capacity to also be building a different.
Yeah, that could be there. Yeah.
So they are living with whatever, but at the end of the day, that is what we call you. Once in a while, you renovate. Normal renovation, Kwame, won't kill any human being. the people living in those buildings, once a while, I know when it comes to those places, most of them are these farmers, and they are not making.
And that appears to be the challenge. Most of the data I have seen in my lifetime puts the central region as one of the poorest in Ghana. Most of the data that I've seen, the central region and upper east, upper west, even upper east, they look great. Upper east, upper west, sorry, central region. Most of the time, the data is not great about the economic conditions there.
Because most of them are just farmers, and they use those small amount of money to feed themselves and their children. They are hoping that when these children grow up, they would become something better and bring some help to support the family. So if your grandmother, maybe those people, their children are even in Accra hustling, your grandmother is somewhere, and as you know, now the mentality is you see the mentality. So well, authorities can tell them, they're just information advocate for that, but at the end of the day is the willingness of these individuals to move from them. If you're moving them from those places and breaking the building down, are you going to give them the startup amount to start building this houses, a small makeshift house for them to live in? And it also costs. And if they don't have the money, they'll do with whatever they have to live in. So Kwame, it's up to the authority to help out if they really want these things to be taken down. As one thing to advocate and if tell them to break it down, is another thing them having money to start up get a new building to move into. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Liz, any stories from your end?
Kwame,
draw the curtains?
Yeah. So there was this story on Nkwanta. They are back in the news again.
They are fighting again.
Yeah, they are fighting again.
They don't get tired. Every day you hear something from that side. They don't get tired. Well.
So the IGP has sent a crack squad to Nkwanta to bring down the tension that is currently in Nkwanta South following a fresh wave of violence that has left people dead and several others injured. The emergency deployment comes as security emergency battles to restore calm in the troubled municipality amid growing fear over the deteriorating security situation. So the Ghana Police Service announced that the elite team was dispatched from the National Police Headquarters in Accra. That was on Saturday, June 20, to reinforce existing security arrangements and support ongoing operations in the area. So this is a move from the IGP to calm tension in Nkwanta South. So Kwame, that's all for now.
Somebody wants to be a chief.
Yeah.
So they
see this, you know, the kind of information that they were fed from their childhood. That your grandparents were the owners and they were supposed to succeed and take over this community, and this person came. That's the reason why they are fighting.
What I've struggled with over the line of succession when it comes to chieftaincy issues here in Ghana is whether we don't have, for example, when you are not around, your line of succession is very clear. If you happen to be a chief or a queen mother or whatever, so one day when you're not around, because you will not be around forever, so and so person is already aware that he's the one taking charge. So like the Obroni, they call them crown prince. Everybody knows that if King Charles goes today,
Kwame,
Prince William is taking over. Everybody knows. Can't we have that here?
In this current, even in the olden days, Kwame, it was there that even if Asumesi is the one who's supposed to succeed or take over from this person, there's somebody behind who also is eyeing the seat.
So you put in mechanisms to stop that.
That is what they'll either fight or influence the leaders that are supposed to look at this succession thing. That is where this confusion and stuff comes in. Because if the leaders in the house are easily influenced by money or any little thing that comes in, and you give, if I'm supposed to succeed and you're influenced by money and you give my position to another person because the person has the money, that's the same way I would also find ways and means to fight to get my position back. So that's the reason. That is what we are facing in the country, Kwame. That is not going to change. I don't know.
It's a shame, if you ask me.
It's not going to change, Kwame.
And sadly, every time we hear of these things, you hear somebody passing.
Oh yes.
I've not seen the full details of that story.
Some people
Hopefully,
and there's some fleeing the region.
And the painful parts, the people who may have passed.
Yeah.
Most of them are the follow back people. Those who probably do not stand a chance of getting anything.
Not
they
at
are
all.
going to organize them to come and fight.
The people you are trying to rule are the same people you are killing. So at the end of the day, if everybody is gone, who are you going to rule? Kwame.
I don't get this, but
Kwame,
it's been happening for so long. So I don't know what this crack police squad will do as far as this issue is concerned. But I hope that at some point, calm would prevail, and the police team would be able to address all of these issues.
Will improve next year. Predictably, Ghanaians sit on the edge anytime the raining season approaches. That is within the months of May and June. It is a period that is supposed to bring joy because as a country with largely subsistence farming, most of our farmers rely on nature's gift for increased harvest. But Mr. President, that has not been the case. Instead, our farmers, including almost every Ghanaian, dread the period. This is a time frame that the perennial flooding take over every facet of Ghanaian lives. floods, loss of lives, properties, livestock, and many other valuables. Mr. President, we have noticed your efforts at combating flooding, mainly in the capital city, where the phenomenon is very pronounced. However, His Excellency, we also observed that your desire to combat flooding did not yield the desired result because it was more of a firefighting approach than tackling the root causes of the problem. We need a paradigm shift in our approach to the flooding situation in the country. There is the need for sustained efforts at combating the flooding situation, starting from when the current rain set in and its attendant floods recede. Mr. President, we therefore plead that the demolition of buildings and structures should continue even in the lean season. The resultant debris and waste should not be left on the very river sources and waterways that we seek to sanitize. Mr. President, your administration should be tough on people who dump refuse indiscriminately. Various refuse collecting agencies should constantly desilt our gutters and drainage throughout the year. Their contracts should be cancelled if they refuse to adhere to this simple order. There should also be close monitoring of land developers. We should not wait for them to build on waterways and river sources before we break their structures. The sanitation task force should be proactive and not reactive to their environmental responsibilities. Again, there is the need to reintroduce or deploy sanitary inspectors throughout the country. The concept worked magic in the past, and we believe it can work again in our current circumstances. Therefore, the onus lies on the assemblies, as we already know. Key performance indicators of every municipal or district chief executive should lead with environmental sanitation, failure of which should amount to summary dismissal of the person charged with the management of our local assemblies. Mr. President, we plead you institute a weekly sanitation exercise where every Ghanaian will be obliged to clean their immediate environment every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Within the period, markets and stores should be closed, with anyone found in violation of the special exercise facing tough and harsh punitive measures. Mr. President, the fight against environmental degradation should not be ad hoc, but a sustained campaign to rig waste and debris that have the potential of causing floods in our communities. His Excellency, we are patiently waiting for your tough measures that will directly curb flooding during the next raining season in 2027. As a listening president, we believe you will inculcate our humble views in your broader sanitation project in the next raining season. Yours faithfully, Class FM.
Well, the letter has since been passed on to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama through Class 91.3 FM, and hopefully there'll be action in that regard.
Another edition of 120 Seconds Around the Globe. So, from islands where gas masks are a way of life to towns hidden underground and lakes that defy nature, you want to join us for another fascinating journey across the world's most extraordinary places. Kwame, I bet you never knew there was an island known as the Volcanic Island where life is very, very so to speak, life exists there. We're talking this morning about the Miyake-jima Island, which is a volcanic island in Japan, and in 2000 eruption occurred there, which forced residents to evacuate, but people later returned, and toxic gas levels still rise unexpectedly, making gas masks part of their daily lives. So this is a place where volcanic eruption took place some 2,000 years ago, and it forced people to actually evacuate the area. But as we speak now, we are told that life still continues there, and that they have a special kind of mask that they wear because of the toxic gas emissions here and there. So life is still continuing there on the Miyake-Jima Island. First time ever. If maybe you are hearing the first time, it's on Class FM. You're hearing it on Class FM the first time. The Miyake-Jima Island is what we're talking about this morning, Kwame. And Whitey, Alaska is a small Alaskan town where most residents live and work in one building. One building, the whole country or the whole town, everyone lives in one building. And so we're talking about the Baggage Towers. And the town is accessible only through a 4-kilometer tunnel and was originally built as a military port during World War II. So, Kwame, the entire town, just take it like the entire of Accra, everyone who lives in Accra lives in one building. So you have your family, I have my family, everybody has a family, all living in one particular building. And to access the building, you need to go through a special tunnel. And what we do know is that the building was originally built as a military port during the World War II. So these are quite, strange but real, happenings, so to speak, or events of certain areas. As we have it on the globe. We're talking about the Whitey, Alaska this morning, Kwame. Let's talk about the Kuba Pedy, which is an underground town. And Kuba Pedy is an Australian mining town where residents live underground to escape temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius. So it's famous for opal mining and features underground hotels, churches, and shops. Kwame, how is that to live your life underground? Everything.
Be weird.
When I was doing this research yesterday, something that came to mind was the 24-hour market, where you gave a vivid description of what you see a 24-hour market to be, not a market where you only go there to buy the jenny and Introwa and all of that, and then you come back. Everything is the essential services are present there. We're talking about life underground, and people who live there have everything underground, just like we are living on the surface of the earth. These people live underground, and so you can talk about all the essential services we have here on earth. It is also there. Hotels, churches, and shops, they are all there. But I'm just wondering how it would be if a natural disaster occurs someday. But probably that's Kuba Pedy, which is the underground town. FM. It's a lake which is christened the Stone Lake, and we're talking about Lake Natron. So Lake Natron in Tanzania is a highly alkaline, red-colored lake with hot, water temperatures enough to reach 60 degrees Celsius. It is a major breeding site for lesser, some organisms of a sort, and we're talking about the Lake Natron this morning, which is located in Tanzania. It is known as the Stone Lake, and of course made up of a number of stones. You want to visit this place someday as a tourist to actually get to know how this place looks like. And all of these places, Kwame, I wish that someday we can embark on a tour to these places to really ascertain. But of course, everything we do here on 120 seconds every morning on Class 91.3 FM is to bring you very rare facts about happenings and events and places, special places on the globe, all under 120 seconds. Kwame, this morning, these are the 4 things we are talking about, and this is how I would wrap this segment for you to continue. But I'm sure you've been fascinated about some of the details I brought you about some of these places on planet. These places exist: the Lake City, the underground town, a town where everybody lives in one particular building. So everybody lives in Class Media apartment. Kwame, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap indeed. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to Class 91.3 as we discuss and raise the issues that are of concern to you and family, friends, whoever is connected to you. And we always appreciate the feedback that we get from you and say thank you for making Class FM your station of choice every single morning from 5 in the morning to whatever time you check out. We appreciate that. If you are listening to a platform for the very first time, A Piece of My Mind is a segment of the show where I share my thoughts on a subject and also give you an opportunity for you to share your thoughts as well. Remember, you can be a part on WhatsApp number 0500,202 0500,202. Alternatively, you can reach us on our socials. We're streaming live on Facebook, or when the phone lines are activated, please give me a call 0302 2080 0302 208080. Our developmental-oriented conversations would continue on A Piece of My Mind, and we will discard the politics, the hardcore politics, for some time, because these are the everyday needs of you and me, and we want to focus on that because it connects a lot strongly with the people. Yesterday, after the show, I had to go and do something on the Tema motorway and way beyond the Tema motorway, and it was sad. It was sad for a reason, because you think that in 2026 you would see a certain level of progress, you would see a certain level of development that you'll be proud of. And I'm tying this into the ceremony that was held by the NDC that renamed the NDC headquarters after Jerry John Rawlings. I was a little child at the time, but one of the things that I recall about his reign, whether it was as a military leader between 1981 and 1992 or 1992 to 2000, was that he had development at heart, and he wanted to do the kind of things that will bring development to the doorstep of the people. Reason why, for many years when he was alive, he decided that he wasn't interested in any facility being named after him, but he was interested in touching the lives of people through his works. I used the Tema motorway yesterday, and the motorway that I saw yesterday was a shame. It was a very big shame. For those of you who use it every day, well done. It was a very big shame. I have no idea what the contractor is trying to do. I have no idea. The pace of the work is so slow. From the last time I used that stretch to when I used the stretch yesterday, it was terrible. Now, this is the thing, and it doesn't appear that we understand the gravity of some of these things. When I lived at Tema as a little child, and I used a motorway that was constructed by Dr. Kwame Dwomoh in 1965. Today, this year would have been year number 61 of when the Tema motorway was commissioned, or the Tema motorway was opened. When I lived in Tema as a little child, the road was in very good condition. Very, very good condition. If you're driving, anytime my dad had to take me to school, it took plus or minus between 20 and 25 minutes to move from the roundabout all the way to the area that is now Accra Mall. It didn't used to be there. In those days, you didn't have the number of people who were living on either side of the motorway like you see today. In those days, you didn't have the number of people who are living beyond the Tema motorway like you see today. Even within Tema itself, it was pretty much Community 1 to Community 11. Today, there are more. So anywhere from Community 18 Junction, all of these people are using the road. Anywhere from the other side of the road, at Kujo and all of these communities, all of these people are using the road. Anywhere from the Tema motorway and beyond. So whether it's all the way to Bichile, or whether it's at Afienya, Matayeko, Sebrepo, all of those communities, all the way to Dowenya, there are people who are living there and are using this road on a day-to-day basis, putting a lot of pressure on this road. Common sense would have told us over the years that with the number of people who have moved on to these enclaves in the last 10, 20, 30 years, we needed to do something about this road. We sat there for whatever reason and played a fool like we always do. We sat there and we didn't really think. And sometimes you wonder whether we have development planners in this country. Because if you go to the Kwame Nkrumah of University of Science and Technology, there is a whole department called planning, where people have studied over the years to plan a thing or two. So you're asking yourself, where were the town planners in all of these years? They didn't foresee this, that at some point the pressure on that particular road was going to get intense. One of the funny things that I saw about that road in the last few years, there's a road that had been built with concrete. And yet, when there was an issue with that road, we were fixing it with bitumen. We are mad. The road that was built, I'm not an engineer, but this is so basic. The road that was constructed with concrete, when we're fixing the potholes that emerged on those particular routes, we're fixing it with bitumen. So if you use that particular road, what you saw was that when the rains come, like the rains have been coming in recent times, the pothole is filled today or the crater is filled today. By the time you use the road tomorrow, it's been washed off. And then we'll spend money to fix. Sometimes you just have a feeling that the roads have become an avenue for politicians to make money. So they'll do it and do it so poorly that when another government comes into office, then they also stand to benefit from that same road. Today, 61 years later, look at how we are sweating to rework that road. Now the pressure on the road is so. Yesterday, at around 10:30 in the morning, you should have seen the craziness on that stretch. Because so many people are using the road, so many people. My dad tells me, my dad was born in Tema in 1948. If my dad was alive, he would have been 78 this year. In those days, you could be driving on the stretch of the motorway and you could count the number of cars from one stretch to the other. He lived there to work as well. And it was still relatively okay. The road was in very good condition. And this was at the time where we said that people who used to man our roads or people who used to work in town council and all of those things, they don't have the kind of education that we have today. Today that we have all of this education and we have all of these ideas and we are generating a lot more money in the name of taxes and we are also borrowing a lot more money. Look at the shame that is there. So on a road that is supposed to be a motorway, you are spending hours on that road. Hours on that road. And the funny thing is, the rate of work is so slow, so you are navigating your way quietly, slowly. And there are all of these big tanks, all of these big cars, all of these big trailers, whatever you call them, all trying to find their way because they are also going to Tema to go and do business, or probably taking goods as far as the Volta region and even beyond. And they are also creating their own gridlock there. Not to talk of the dust. And not to talk of all the stones on the stretch. So if you're not using a 4x4, I wonder how many times you go to the workshop every single week.
Class 91.
Why are we so poor in managing anything? Why? It's like people we put in positions of power and influence, it's like they are not thinking. It's like they are not looking ahead. It's all about today and what they would make. For a stretch that is about 22 or 23 kilometers or so, it took me over 2 hours to move from Accra Mall to the end of the motorway yesterday. Now that was only the beginning of my problems, because I was going way further down road. So then I go past the motorway. I hit the road that would go all the way to Aplau. It's only one road all the way, and it's I face you, you face me. Between the edge of the roundabouts and TT Brothers, that stretch, before you branch and go to Pong. As a child, we used to walk. When I lived in Tebani and Nancy, we used to walk. There were people who were walking on that stretch yesterday, and they got to their destinations before the cars got to their destination. I was wondering what was causing the traffic before the TT Brothers Junction. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. Why that very short stretch? I had to spend another about 45 minutes there. All because the rains have been coming in so intensely. It has created some gullies on that road. So when you get to a certain point of that road, you have to take your time. Especially if you're a saloon car, you have to take your time. And that one alone caused another gridlock for another 45 minutes. And because of the rains, the road has become terrible. As for that one, no one is even bothered. Nobody is even fixing anything on a road. I didn't see anything there. Then when you go further, that is where I can understand. That is why Paul barely comes to Accra. Paul is one of our loyal listeners. Paul, wherever you are, good morning to you. I can understand why you don't bother yourself coming to Accra every day to go and come and do business. Because between that end all the way to Dowinya, the contractor that has been given the opportunity, is he tired? Or he's not being funded? Or he has quit? Whatever it is. Because, like I said, look at the number of people who have moved into those communities within the last 20, 30 years. It must be hundreds of thousands. Possibly even more. Between that stretch and Dowinya, years ago, it would take you maybe 15 minutes. Today, it will take you hours. The road is so bad. The traffic situation is not so great. The contractors have dug everywhere on the pitch. The rains are coming. It is making the roads literally soaked. You can't even move. You can't even move. 1.3 FM. So starting from Accra Mall all the way to Dowinya, years ago, you could do it in about 45 minutes. Today, if you are lucky, you do it for about 3 hours or 4 hours. Meanwhile, we have town planners. Meanwhile, we have leaders. And you see that road goes all the way to Aplau. That same road, it goes all the way to Aplau. Elsewhere, sometimes, Mensa said it yesterday, the white man and the black man, it is as if we are cursed. There is no way, over 65 years after independence, the road that goes all the way to Ho should be I face you, you face me. That road by this time, almost 70 years after our independence, that road by this time should have been like a 6-laner, an 8-laner, a 10-laner, whatever it is. The motorway should have been another 10-layer a long time ago. The one that goes to Bechele should have been another 6-layer a long time ago. But we've sat there playing, fooling, sir. And the politicians also taking advantage, chopping, sir. So for those of you who live on that stretch, you see the wahala you go through. Why do you even bother yourself to go and queue to go and vote for these clueless leaders over the years? Why? Why do you worry yourself to go and vote for these clueless leaders? Because when they come, they're only interested in themselves. Those of you who live there. I picked a young lady on the stretch when I was coming back. They had been standing. They were not getting a car. And some other guys. And the rains were coming. They waved me. I thought they even knew me. They didn't know me from anywhere. The wahala people go through on that stretch. You are leaving to work. They say they leave home like around 4, sometimes even 3 something just to get to work, because if by 5 something you are still on that stretch, you'll be late. You'll be fired from work. And when they close, another wahala to get home. The health implications, the financial implications. We are not even looking at all of these things. And we say we are planning. We say we are developing to the moon or to the sun. Forget these people in suits who speak big grammar and are not adding any value to our lives. And for me, as I was navigating my way through that road, one thing kept dawning, one thing kept hitting my head. It is only a matter of time before the youth of this country one day rise up and say enough of this nonsense. Because the people who put in positions of power and influence, they are not adding any value to our lives. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time that they'll wake up and say we are tired of this nonsense. Because the level of progress, you won't say it is zero progress, but it is so slow. And you wonder whether the authorities have you and me at heart. You wonder. They are either chopping the money, living lavishly. People who had nothing before they came into politics, after 4 years they own the whole world. And yet, look at the despicable conditions in which you and I live. If you happen to be living on the stretch all the way to Dowinya and your office is at Accra Central, look at the wahala you go through every single day. But you have cushioned your mind that it is MPP or NDC. If your government is in power, everything is right. And it's been like that from 1992. So if you've lived on that stretch in the last 30 years, do you see how your problems are compounding? Every day you are crying, you are shouting, you are screaming, crying, shouting, screaming. Are you seeing the change you want? Are you really feeling the change you want? Are you seeing the difference? Yes, you may have seen a thing or two, but in that 30 years, in that 25 years, in that 40 years, go elsewhere. Go elsewhere. Benin here, Benin here. In the last 10 years, go and see what President Talon, the outgone president, go and see what he has done here. In the last 10 years, Benin here, they don't have anything. They don't have the gold we have. They don't have the diamond. They don't have the oil. They don't have anything. Go and see what President Talon has done in Cotonou and Porto Novo. Here, we have everything. But all the money disappears. You see the nonsense that happens at the Public Accounts Committee every day. Monies that could be going into proper projects. Now they are fighting about weeding hospitals. That's what they fight over. These jokers called politicians, they fight over weeding hospitals. And we say we want to make progress. We are just joking. We are just joking. The phone lines have been activated. Give me a call and share those very strong thoughts with me. 0302-208080. 0302-208080. Give me a call and share those thoughts with me. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Seth. I'm calling from
Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Kwame. You see, Aflawu Road and Afienya Road and that one. I remember 2012 or 2013 that way when Mahama first administration. They have a road project they call Ring Road. They link all the major roads to Accra. They have an access road. When you are coming, you reach Afienya. From Pran Junction, you can pass the Afienya Road to that side. That Ring Road was still there. And when you come down, create a lot of opportunity. But I remember when the Mahama lost administration, Nana Akufo-Addo said he wants to audit all the roads. And because of the auditing the road here, it takes a lot of time. That particular project was put in nowhere. And I see the same thing is happening there. This time there, we citizens, we have to rise. If you haven't rise well there, we will not go anywhere concerning about road this thing. It's a serious thing we have to do. Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. Seth, 0302-208080. Give me a call and share those thoughts with me. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. Today,
I go back with who you answer.
Kwame, thank you for last time. God bless you.
God bless you too.
And then I can in development now you're slow, but if you're independent, the other bedria, you can have no day because of selfless leaders. See, but Yabina Dumalanka Kanga the Buduo. Thank you, Kwame.
I go back with you. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Freddie. I'm calling from Second Station.
Go ahead, sir.
Sir, please, something is happening in this station. We need your assistance.
Okay.
To make it get to the authorities. They have increased lorry fare with the government increasing lorry fare.
Where exactly?
Committee Second Station.
How much were you paying before?
Okay, some people are paying 6 CDs. Now they are paying 8 CDs. Some people are paying 7 CDs. Now they are paying 9 CDs. Some are paying 8 CDs. They are not paying 10 CDs. So they have increased to 2 CD increments.
I see. We'll follow up on this, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. 0302-208080. Hello, good morning.
Hi.
It's good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, your name, Adenta.
Oh, Kwame, go ahead.
Oh, that. Later on, I'll call her. You won't pick. Why?
Forgive us. The lines can be very, very busy.
Kwame, see, 2020, I mobilized over 2,000 people to vote for NDC because I want change. Because of the tangent that Akufo-Addo was taking this country to. I vexed. So I mobilized almost about 2,000 people in Adenta and voter ready to vote for NDC. Kwame, you were asking, am I feeling the change? No, I'm not feeling it at all. I think, Corey, what I begin to notice is that this delay and the nature of at which the pace at which this road is
Class
going,
91.3 FM.
they want to use it to do election. You see, so last minute they will put pressure on the contractor so that people will see that they are working. But it shouldn't go like that because please tell my people, NDC, if they continue like this, it will not be well with them 2028. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Occasion Gulf City.
Chief, go ahead.
I am very happy you use the stretch as you were saying. You see, Kwame, in fact, you see somebody call right now, say Michelle Camille, giving you a report that they pay more than necessary. It is true. Look at the condition of the road. So they will pay more than that. You see how the Ghana today we are living. I don't know. This authority, they don't think about us. They don't think about us. So keep the weight down.
Thank you, my brother. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Okay, 0302208080. We lost that caller. You can try again at 0302208080 or send us a message on WhatsApp or 0500,202. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Antina Gansoma.
Antina, go ahead.
What you are saying exactly. Last time I told you, call the minister. Me, I think they have never paid them fully. That is why they are delaying work. If they are paying, the minister will never sit down to look at this. Because everywhere, Kaswa, the same thing. Now, Kaswa people are taking 20 cities. I'm telling you, instead of 9 cities. Because they say the road is so bad. So when you sit in it, they will say, Minko. Then when the people board it, then say it's 20 Ghana or 20 Ghana. Definitely you have to pay. So Kwame, please call the minister. Don't be afraid. You are doing well. Even today, what you are saying about there is John Rollins, I'm a caterer. When I finished Accra Poly and I didn't get a job, I've been going to Aflau, Togo, and Rollins, you see Rollins extending light to the water to everywhere. That is why last time I told you I have seen Rollins regime and I've seen Atami's regime. So what you are doing is good. Call the minister. I am telling you the truth. Me, I am a prayer warrior. They haven't paid them. If they have paid them, last time we are going to bury a dead at Lashibi, a man falls on our boat. So when we are returning, I didn't board the boat. I'm afraid. Nowhere and everywhere is there like that. Please call the minister. You see what I'm telling you. Thank you, Kwame.
Thank you, Antina, for calling 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Not bad, that's all.
Eben, go ahead.
You see, Kwame, it is wickedness in this country. You see, as I'm talking to you now, I'm almost to Achimota. Do you know I walk from Kwabenya to this place?
Ah, why?
You listen to me. I'm going to Abotokan to do something. After that, I'll go back to Kofodia and do 1 or 2 transactions. See, I've come there because I want to also withdraw money at the Zenith Bank at Achimota. Okay. The car over there. I'm saying this because the earlier callers were talking about maybe the bad nature of the road. That is why the drivers are charging double. From Kwabenya, if I'm able to take the car from there to Achimota, it is 50 pesos. Okay. See, they are saying circle straight 10 cedis. Meanwhile, I'm not good at you. I'm even going to circle. But because I have to withdraw money from they are taking 10 cedis. I tried that one because from Kwabenya to Accra, is the road bad?
No.
Yes. So you could see that one. It is the wicked attitude of us. So it is not about each and every time we blaming the politician. The politician needs to be blamed. We too, we need to be blamed. And so it's not all about that. And Kwame, it saddens my heart also. See, that is why if every change of government can they try that, they even change everybody. Look at Mariupol. You are the one in charge of all this summer stretch. The contract was given to you on the elsewhere administration. Another government, they didn't change it. Just continue the job. You are delaying. Kwame, I'm asking you this morning, if you are the what minister, what will you do?
I'll fire him.
Yes, so, Honorable Abuja, we are pleading with you. You be on the stretch. You want this man. He's still delaying. This man doesn't believe in Ghana. He believes in MPP and discipline. We are begging you. Change him. If possible, the way what our own people are delaying the job, it will be better you give to a foreigner for him to compete. Our Kwame, is that not it?
Okay, Eben. Those decisions will be up to Mr. Abuja to take. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kwame.
Babs, go ahead.
Kwame, look, we will never be tired of this country. We shall always say the truth. We shall speak the truth. Kwame, when we were talking about the motorway, I tried to do some check when Nkrumah constructed the motorway. The locals, it is the locals. It is Ghanaians under the supervision of what? Foreign engineers. There is no any foreign company. It's only foreign engineers who supervise. But it is our PWD who constructed the motorway. 61 years down the line, we have given this expansion to what? A local company, Maripoma. Kwame, you see how our politics is. So the previous administration, then coming to a new administration, it's all about what? Chop chop. He will sponsor this party to come to power, so that when the party comes to power, they will continue, give him the contract. Then he can delay, he can do whatever he wants to do. You see, are you taking out the what? The concrete, all of the concrete, and putting what? Bitumen or what? It's just an expansion. But you see, when NDC says he's resetting this country, he has to reset this country with what? A revolution.
Okay, Babs, I appreciate you calling. 0302208080. Hello, good morning. I lost this caller. You can also try 0302208080. 0302208080. You can call and share those very strong thoughts of that, especially those of you who live on that stretch. I don't know how you do it. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know how you do it every day, going through that wahala, just to go and look for your daily bread or anything like that. 0302208080. 0302208080. Or send me a message on WhatsApp on 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. I'll take a few more calls and then we'll wrap up this section. But I would love to hear from you on 0302208080. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Osman.
Osman, go ahead.
Kwame, do you know that this country we are facing a very strong disease, all of us, including the politicians and the citizens. We are battling with common sense, and we must start facing and then start treating it. If not, this country will never move forward. I thought the Toronto way they were going to continue with concrete roads. So now, if the old one is a concrete road, and then you are doing the extension, a bitumen. So now, how can the two go together? And a country where a road, a concrete road, will have a pothole, and they will come and put bitumen on it, or a bitumen road having a pothole, and they will come and patch it with concrete. Like such a country, you think you can develop? Look at what man said. Oh, this country, they know.
Some of these things, Osman, you can't understand. You can't understand. You can't understand. Anyway, hello, good morning. Okay, I lost out on this caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm back.
Okay, Babs, make it snappy for me.
Okay, I was saying we can't reset this country without a revolution. We have to reset this country with force enforce the law. Otherwise, we will never succeed. Kwame, recently I was checking on Burkina Faso head of state, the president, Traore. Saudi Arabia wants to build a mosque for him. Do you know what he said? He said, no, he doesn't need a mosque. He needs a factory. This is leadership. This is visionary leader. Have a good morning.
Good morning. Here we'll build 10 mosques. 0302-208080, 0302-208080. Give me a call and share those thoughts with me, or send me a message on WhatsApp on 0500,202. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Santo.
Your name, please.
I'm Vivian.
Vivian, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling concerning our road, Santo. It's been years now. The road, I think every time it's about campaign, politics and stuff. They come and they'll put the machines on it, try that they are leveling it, do it, and you see everyone happy because we've suffered a lot. We are suffering. We are suffering every time. Our cars have to go to shop. Every time, my car, just last week, we took this car to the shop twice. As I speak now, the contractor did a very bad work. He's working on the road, and ever since it starts to rain, we've not seen them again. And the road is flooded. When you are passing these big rocks, they are in it. Places that are flooded, they have not even tested the road. They are just grading it. And you can see that the contractor is just coming to pour water on it. And I know it to be a shoddy way. And as we speak now, the name is just small. They are the ones working on the road, and they are not doing a good job. And as I speak to you, the road is messy. We cannot even move to town from our place from Santos Station to just Nana Chrome. It takes hours just for you to get to Nana Chrome towards School Junction. We are suffering. So we beg them, our leaders, our DC here and the MPs, I don't know. They don't check. Even the assemblymen, they don't check. They also apply the road every time. But they don't check. They also use the same road. So please, Bro Kwame, please, something should be done about it. The earlier the better, because whatever they are doing there, it will not keep long. The road will spoil again. And they have even vacated the road. You will not see any machine there again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We would give you the platform, and then we would also push here on Class 91.3 FM. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, looks like we've lost this caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Kwame, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Please, this is Mullah Umar.
Alhaji, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, bro. Peace unto you.
Thank you very much.
Bro, for Greater Accra, he's especially Katamansu Ashama. Kwame, the road is not in good shape at all. Kwame, the so-called Trotskyists and Trotters have taken advantage of it, charging exorbitant prices. Some have to walk right away from Katamanso to Ashama to Tama to come and hustle. What kind of system are we having in this country? I always say I will continue to condemn democracy. It is a quagmire which the whites have created for black race in order to make us remain where we are. We will never develop and move forward. Kwame, to me, democracy will never help us. Because when I was growing in the military regime, I've witnessed so many good things within the Tama Township and beyond. But for currently, when we embrace democracy, I've noticed that Yen Chendi, enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day too, Mullah. They have 3 MPs. Small area like that, they have 3 MPs. Tema East, Tema Central, Tema West. They are MC, there's mayor, there's this, that. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
It's good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, please, I'm Joyce.
Joyce, where are you calling from?
From Amman here, please.
Joyce, go ahead.
My concern is the youth with the ballot papers and the voting. Look, when the youth say, "Oh, you don't bring any ballot papers, ballot box here. We are not going to vote for you because of our road, because of our schools, because of our hospitals, and we don't have any infrastructure here." The next week, you see the MPs and they are politicians, they will come with their this. Oh, we are coming to do it for you. They will come and cast the sword. They are coming to do it for you. Less than 2-3 months after the voting, papam, then they vanish. So we should set a deterrent to these MPs and the politicians. When they come, we should sack them. With their ballot papers, we should set an example for 1 or 2 of them. They will see that we, the youth, we are doing what we were doing. I can't.
Oh, God have mercy. Okay. My producer says I should take a final caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Morning, bro. This is Mike from Kotobabe.
Mike, go ahead.
Thank you. Bro, you see, I perfectly agree with Bob. When you talk of this country, we should enforce, our laws and then what, revolutionary. You see, in the country, as if everybody is a woman in the country now. Everybody does what they want. You see? So, for me, sometimes when we say democracy that we are practicing, I don't know. We see, we are not practicing anything. So let us go back to military regime, bro. It will help us. There's no way that schools are formed these days and then killing people. No. That's what to support one person. To take over all our affairs and solve all our problems. That is all. We can do this. We follow them blindly. We follow them blindly because of what? Leaders who cry for their positions more than what? The affairs of the nation. And we are all dying. Yeah, yet none of them. God will punish all of us. Good morning.
Good morning, and that's going to be our final caller this morning. Let me take some of your messages, and very shortly, we'll be getting into the issues of the firearms. We'll be speaking to the boss of the Small Arms Office, that's Mr. Adam Bona, who is the Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, and also speak to Richard Komadu, who is a fraud and security consultant. Let me take some of your messages that have come in this morning. This one says, good work, Kwame. NDC is full of managers like school headmasters. They are not visionary leaders. Leaders move fast with their plans and visions. NDC are like snails. Can they put pressure on the big push contractors to have 2 teams for 24-hour works? They have plans they can't use. Call the Minister of Roads. Good work, Kwame. Danny and Adenta, you send this one. Well, we speak to them every now and then. They always have a story to tell. Oh, we are. It's always we are, sir. Hi, Kwame. The flood issue at Summer Boy is sad, but it serves them right as they won't stop Galamsey. So our road minister, the motorway issue, he should move in and deal with those contractors who are doing everything to sabotage the NDC government, as they don't want any good thing to happen under the NDC. For some people, because NDC is in power, they don't want to do anything good for Ghanaians to benefit. Okay, maybe you know something I don't know. Good morning, Kwame. I strongly believe that our country needs a credible third political party to provide voters with more choices and strengthen our democracy. Oh, Millie, this matter, I even wish we had 5 or 6, so that we chase these crazy bald heads out of town. They are not helping us in any way. I also think that elections should be held during the rainy season to encourage politicians to address the poor state of our roads and our drainage systems. As for Maripoma, he seems to be sleeping on the job. At times, it feels as though we are not interested in protecting party interests than holding leaders accountable. Millie, you go ahead to say. And this same Maripoma has been given. I remember when the minister was there, he said this particular organization or company has been given a number of jobs. The ones they have been given, they are not seeing top. We have topped up for them, and they are joking on our routes. And they are the ones who also have the major contracts. Now, Chromakra, what is wrong with us? You okay. Justice in Tema Community 1. Please don't stress yourself. The Bible said it, that for the love of money my people will perish. The town planners are more interested in lining up their pockets. Our clueless politicians who are mentally deficient pocket more than half of the money meant for the projects. Hey, it doesn't matter that you have said easily like that. Good morning, Kwame. The 10 lanes and the 3 lanes you did talk about, I know they won't do it. But the maintenance too, they won't do foco. Oh, Kofi from Hacho, you made my day. Kofi, I tell you, the roads I don't do. The maintenance too, Abasa. Hey, whoa. This one, okay, you don't add your name. They say, Kwame, good morning. I agree with you on the road issues. My question is, must we wait for a country to be in shape before we do roads at an area? From Afinia to Mobole, we don't know what the MPs do. I won't add my name. I have a lot of stuff. Good work, keep it up. Okay, so I get it why you don't add your names. Oh, Charlie, those of you in that area, Afinia, Mobole, Sebreport, VRA, Def Traco, Gulf City, Gulf City's chief of staff is here. Gulf City. Charlie, yesterday when I got to the intersection before Boom, there was a long queue over there. The taxi station that they are waiting to board the taxi and Kasakra has a problem. The whole place was waterlogged. And then the taxis do say they won't go because the road is bad. And people want to be walking. Oh, Charlie. Then they think they pity me self. Oh, Charlie. God day. Abdul from Sun City in Tama West. You see, we will keep fooling in this country, like you said, till the end of time. Sometimes I ask myself, is it that we have leaders or we are living without leaders for the last 6 decades? I always say, soon and very soon, the youth of this country would rise furiously against these clueless and wicked vampires we call leaders. All these coupled with a massive joblessness, that is another area in itself. And the non-educated youth will be the catalyst for that uprising. Abdul from Sun City. I can't wait for that too. I can't wait. Okay, this one is coming from Nutra. You say, I don't know if a shaman is part of... Of course it is. Or what crime we in a shaman have committed. No street lights, no roads, bad everything. That's why Shama, you're on your own. You're on your own, because the other day I came for a program at one of my churches, Assemblies of God, inside there. Reverend Awinsia's church, the road that connects from the back there to the Tema Community 22 there. Hey! How do you people do it? Those of you who live in that area, Attack the car in all of those areas. How do you do it every day? You people, you do well, pa. You do well. This one is coming from Mr. King in DC. You say, good morning, Kwame. Yesterday I rode my bike to Malejo, and before I will return to Accra, me and my bike looked like we were just returning from a Galamsey site. It feels as though that the road is not a priority to the contractor. By the way, Kwame, when was the last time you had a straight 8-hour sleep, Charlie? Yeah, I see what you've added. You said you were watching. Okay, yeah, Charlie, for God and country, and for family, Charlie. How we go do? We need to get coins to take care of the family. Abi, Mr. King. That's how we do it. Thank you, and thank you for your care. Kwame, Maripoma, or whoever they are there because they are sponsoring political parties. If not, the NDC should be bold to sack them. Babs, you called earlier and you sent this message. Okay, so let me cross over to the phone lines and get to speak to fraud and security consultants, Mr. Richard Kumado, who has joined us on the line to address these issues of security services. Mr. Kumado, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Is the Ministry of Interior trying to tell us that, but for what happened over the weekend, they didn't know that this organization was operating?
No, that's not what they said.
That's what I am inferring from the action that they have taken, because this organization has been there since.
Their license, which means that they have a database containing their license. They said they have held them accountable for breaching the compliance rules when it comes to uniform, when it comes to possessing guns without licensing, and the operation as a whole, which means they have a data. But above all, if you remember, within 24 hours of the incident, the police did an investigation and they made recommendations. It was based on the recommendations of the police that the regulator, which is the Minister of Interior, took the decisions they took.
Fair point. How do we manage the actions of some of these security agencies going forward?
No, one, we have an issue with the way they dress and they are flouting the law in that regard. We also have an issue of small arms or arms in the hands of illegitimate people, which there was a scheduled press conference either today or tomorrow by the Minister of the Interior. I believe he is going to address it. But then these two things are very critical. They flout the laws. They don't dress properly. They put on uniforms they don't need to. Then we also have too many guns in the hands of illegitimate people. guns are not registered, no background check. And it has been one of the major issues why there was a gun amnesty. And whether we succeed or not, the Interior Minister will brief the nation today. But then above all, it's important that the police will need to stamp their feet down and act as quickly as they have done in this particular case.
Who decides on what a security company has as an apparel?
No, there are regulations and there are even new reforms in the system. So when you are registering a security company, you'll be made aware, you will be oriented in that regard, what to do, what not to do, what the ramifications are, and what the remedies are.
So that is decided even before they start running the organization?
Yeah, definitely, yes. And there have been various changes, except that enforcement becomes a challenge sometimes. And you have people who also abuse the system a little bit too much. So they take the law into their own hands and they do what they are not supposed to do, knowing very well that when the law catches up with them, they might be using politics to do nonsense.
So you're giving an organization the license to start an organization here being a security. Are there regular checks on the kind of work they do?
You're asking the wrong person. Many years ago, I used to do monitoring for the Minister of the Interior. Nobody has ever said good money to you. We use our own money and do it for them. We give the report out and they act on it. So you are asking the wrong person, the wrong question. Today, when the Minister of Interior comes for the press conference, let your people ask him. But that particular aspect of my field work, I have stopped doing it. And I don't think I'll be doing it anytime soon.
Is it a case of maybe a lack of personnel or the expertise to reining the space?
When he's holding the press conference, send Zita and go there. Rajo, let them ask him. Because they are the regulators, isn't it? And the regulators should have a fair idea of what goes on in the country in relation to the people they issue license to and how they operate, and whether they are season or rotations and what to be done, what needed not to be done, and where the issues are. I believe those things can be done without so much resources. But whether they are being done or they are not being done, it is proper you ask the Minister of the Interior.
Again, help me if you can. When the security company is given the license to operate, do we have a clear definition of the kind of equipment or arms they can use?
I didn't hear the question.
I was saying that help me if you can, that when the security companies are registered and given the license to operate, are there clear guidelines on the kind of weapons they can use?
No, private security companies are generally prohibited from carrying firearms. So unless you have police or military performing security duties at statutory locations as prescribed by the law or authorized by the appropriate authorities. But by and large, to the large extent, private security companies are not allowed to carry firearms on duty. And so what happened with the investigation was that they asked whether they acting in the name of a registered security company or his boys who came together to provide bodyguarding rules. Then number two, the police will also find out whether the guns were registered in individual's name. So that is what it is. If it's registered in individual's name, then they are not registered to be used for private security services. And if they breach any of those standard restrictive protocols, the police will take them on. So it's all part of what the police did and why we are where we are now. And so that is the way it is done. But by and large, they are not allowed to carry firearms in the course of their delivery.
What is the role of the Small Arms Commission in a conversation like this?
No, they have to mobilize. They have to mobilize the arms. And the Ghana Guns Amnesty Program, they were the lead agency. So they were the lead agency who did that. They'll be part of the press conference today or tomorrow by the Minister of Interior, because they are the lead agency in that regard.
Okay. We would hope to get through to Mr. Adams Bona on this and get clarity on that as well.
Definitely, they are concerned.
I want to say thank you for your
With
time
what
and we
they have
hope to
done,
speak to
people
you
are still
again.
holding firearms in the system. Probably we might need to do more, or we might need to adopt some other strategy. But they made it clear that if you don't submit, you don't hand over your gun, then you might be committing a crime that the police will come after you. But to the extent that we have a whole armory in the middle of the city of Accra, that may breach public safety one day, and it's important we look at it again. But I believe all these ones will come up in the press conference, and the minister will be in a comfortable position to address it.
Okay. We'll be waiting for that presser and then we'll ask all our questions. Thank you. Okay, so that was security consultant Richard Kumadu there explaining this issue to us. So we'll be posing these questions. Our team will there to be posing these questions to the Honorable Minister Mohammed Muntanka to address these concerns. Because just like Mr. Kumadu said, if you have a whole organization with all of these equipments somewhere in the city, if something goes horribly wrong, it's only a matter of time before they start doing their own thing, and we know what can happen from there. Okay, let me go back to some of your messages. This one says, good morning, Kwame. Newly gone roads and bridges are taking us out of our homes. We need urgent help. And you say also there's a company by the Ashiye Fulani last stop discharging waste chemicals into the dam, posting health hazard with bad odor and killing animals as well. Please help. You don't have to plead. I always say this with higher authorities to fix it. The Adenta Municipal Assembly, they are not aware of this. They are in charge of that Ashiye area there. They are not aware of this company who are disposing this chemicals into the water body over there. They want to say they are not aware. There's an MC there. He wants to say he's not aware. And you go ahead to say that, good morning, Kwame. Please, our routes. You say now you've moved from New Legon to Adenta. You say Adenta Market Junction through accountancy to New Legon and Lotto Kiosk to Commando. Look at the names of your communities. Why won't your road be bad? New Legon to Lotto Kiosk. Lotto Kiosk to Commando. And also Adenta Sakura. Medina and Adenta APs are not doing anything at all. We thank them. And they have heard. It's just that unfortunately the people in your area, their votes are on autopilot. Whether this one is performing or not, they will still find a way of keeping the person. I like Adenta for one reason. It is only Ramadan who has been given an opportunity to go for a second term. If you come and you are not performing, they will yank you. So, I mean, since Adenta was carved out of the Medina or a Shaman constituency or so, almost every 4 years, if you are not performing, they will sack you. If only we have that. If only we have that in this country. If you are not performing, we'll sack you. And our votes will not be on autopilot. Charlie, things will change. But a lot of us have decided that whether our party is performing or not, we will still vote for them. We will still argue for them. We will still defend because of what we will get. You're not thinking of the policies that the government can put in place so that you don't have to go and beg for more money. So that the policies would in itself influence you to a point where you start making money for yourself and not going to the MP to go and ask for school fees money. Do you hear people going to ask for school fees money in the UK? Have you heard of that before? Or more money? Do you hear that? Oh, Francis, I've read your message. I read it a long time ago. I read it even before this batch of messages. Maybe you stepped out a bit. Oh, PM in Pram Pram. My ever friends say it is aplau, not aflau. It is spelled aflau, but it is pronounced aplau. So if you hear me saying aplau, my ever friends taught me that you PM, you are a Gamma, you live in Pram Pram. You want to tell me how you say aflau. PM, it is not aflau, it is aplau. That's what it is. Go and ask your ever friends, and I know there are a lot of evers in your area. Ask them. Nobody says aflau. It is aplau. I like the way they say it, aplau. Yeah, so me too, I'm learning from them. Anyway, you can keep your messages coming on WhatsApp number 0500 202. Our guests are in the studio, but let me do this quick break.
Good morning.
There was a major story coming through in the last 24 hours concerning increases in electricity and water prices. That communication came in from the PRC. Well, they had told us a long time ago. It looks like people had forgotten that every quarter there was going to be the possibility that it was going to go up. Let me just quickly run through that story and then get the thoughts of our friends who are joining. The Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission (PURC) has approved increases in electricity and water tariffs effective 1st July 2026. Under the new adjustments, electricity tariffs would increase by 3.49%, while water will go by 0.85%. In a statement issued on June 22nd, the Commission said that the changes were made under its quarterly tariff review mechanism, which takes into account key economic and operational indicators affecting utility. The Commission said that the tariff review mechanism is intended to preserve the real value of tariffs, support the financial sustainability of utility service providers, and ensure continued service delivery, while considering the impact on consumers. PRC said it applied a weighted average exchange rate of 11.2228 to $1 for the third quarter of 2026, representing a 0.2% depreciation of the cedi compared with the previous quarter. It also used a 3-month average inflation rate of 3.43%, down from 4.17% in the second quarter, and a weighted average of natural gas cost of 7.9708 per MMBTU, representing a 1.58% decrease from the previous quarter. Based on this assessment of these indicators, the Commission approved a 3.49% increase in electricity tariffs across all consumer categories for the third quarter. I've been joined by two brothers. Siegfried Aqua speaks for the NDC, and my brother Ibrahim Gomna also speaks for the NPP. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kwame.
Gomna, let me start with you. How's the campaign going? Before we delve deeper into the issues. Is it going well?
Yeah, so far so good. Let me say a very big good morning.
The leaguers are chopping your money.
Good morning to your cherished listeners across the country. Yeah, campaign is going well. We are on it. Yeah, so today we woke up to the news once again of an increase in water and electricity tariffs. It is instructive to note that this government has the penchant of only increasing electricity tariffs unjustifiably almost every quarter. The IMF conditions that they have usually and always allow themselves to be misled on is that, I think we've corrected this notion here several times. They say IMF conditions signed by the previous government was that there should be an increase in electricity and water tariffs every quarter. It is not true. Adjustments in electricity tariffs does not mean it must always be an increase. Adjustment could be a decrease or an increase. So,
but you heard the reasons they gave.
I mean, that is the PRC and the NDC. So let them not even come here and lie to us that there was an IMF condition that says that it's to increase tariffs every quarter. It's not true. They say adjustments. And adjustment, IMF cannot dictate our policy direction as a country. So it is not true. And these people, when you look at it cumulatively since 2025 that they took over government, cumulatively they have increased electricity by 14.33%. Cumulatively. Then with electricity, so this is electricity, 14.33% since 2025. And then with water, they have increased to a total increase of water tariffs by 21.49%. And this is alarming. This is really worrying. If we are experiencing an inflation of 3%, which they ask us to help them celebrate, which is not even reflective on the price of goods and services because inflation decrease would mean that the rate of increase in the prices of goods and services is going to be something that has to be constant or not increase. But these people have had everything increasing, including tariffs. And the rate of increase in water and electricity tariffs is worrying. It's burdening people. And I mean, the cost of production astronomically has increased across the country by virtue of water and electricity, because these are two critical things that nobody can do without. If you have the dollar fall and water and electricity tariffs keep increasing the day in and out, it can just tell you how the good people of Ghana would cope, because we use light every day. I mean, cold stores and everybody use electricity. Lifetime consumers cannot even be compared to the commercial consumers of electricity. The level of burden they have to go through as a result of this unjustified increases by the government is worrying, and I think that the government should take it as a serious priority to ensure that at least there is a good decrease in these tariffs to allow Ghanaians to have some amount of a relief.
At this point, the decision has been taken. It's an upward adjustment.
Yeah, that's quite insensitive, because we can't wake up and almost every day we wake up and it's all about increases and increases. In fact, if you are celebrating the decrease in inflation, that should be reflected and reflection in almost every sector. If you are talking about the fall in the city, or this what do you call it, the sustainable nature of the city, then it should be reflective in everything. But if you wake up and tariffs are increased every day, I mean, the ordinary Ghanaian is burdened, maybe because they are enjoying all the benefits of being in government. They may not feel it like all of us. But I think that it will be a matter of priority. It will be of something that they have to get back to the table for cabinet to treat this as an emergency situation, that they have to look at it. Because look, this is becoming unbearable. Cold stores are closing down as a result of tariffs. Some people are diversifying. They have to abandon businesses that consume more of electricity to go into other areas. That's quite worrying. And I think that we mustn't live in a country where the good people have had to suffer this much in paying electricity bills. Look, I mean, maybe you were paying like electricity 100 cedis a month in 2024. Today, you are most likely to pay, per the increase here, you are most likely to pay 280, 250 cedis for the same appliances you were using. And that's quite alarming. That's quite worrying. So the government must prioritize this and look into that. Treat it as a very urgent issue before cabinet and take just. I mean,
what would you make of one of the justifications that we've been hearing over the years? And this is also captured in the statement that they released yesterday. That the commission said the tariff review mechanism is intended to preserve the real value of tariffs. So at this point, we're not paying what is real value to support the financial sustainability of utility service providers. Who is providing the service?
Are they not those providing the service?
Who is providing the service?
No, in the case of electricity, is obviously ECG.
Okay, so when you say financial stability of ECG, we are also very much aware of the level of mismanagement there. So for the mismanagement of the organization, you and I have to suffer by paying what is called reasonable rates to deal with the financial mismanagement over there.
You see, Kwame, the worrying situation, and I've always maintained these excuses and these justifications are lazy to come by. They are very lazy from a regulator to make these justifications. You see, somebody has been assigned to handle the affairs of these agencies that produce electricity for us. And if there have been reports from Auditor General almost every year on the level of losses we make, the level of unrecovered, or the amount of unrecovered monies from even state institutions,
inflated procurements.
Okay, And even state institutions such as parliament and all of that, you overheard just last year where ECG cutting lights
they paid
for these institutions. Even these institutions are unable to comply with their, what they call it. And you think that the simplest way to give some level of financial stability to the regulator or the institution that provide electricity is to burden the poor and ordinary Ghanaian with tariffs. Then it means that you are obviously just running a country with some high level of insensitivity. Because I think that the one to suffer for these recklessness shouldn't be the ordinary Ghanaian. There must be. That's why under President Akufo-Addo, when we were faced with global issues like COVID-19, he brought on several relief packages. That look, the last person to suffer the heavy consequences of what we were hit globally shouldn't be the ordinary Ghanaian. That is why he came with the famous statement that we know how to what bring back the economy. What we do not know how to bring back is the lives of the people that would have been lost massively. So, in the face of this, where Auditor General has constantly reported of high levels of mismanagement, as you have stated, from ECG and all these regulatory bodies, look at what is happening with the Ghana water. Galamsey all over the place, destroying the water.
So
that
we need more
treating.
money to fix it.
We just don't need
that. I'm not involved in Galamsey in any way or form. So I need to pay up.
It is just a matter of what 9 months has been around. I mean, and Galamsey is getting worse, and the water is getting destroyed. So it means that if we need more money to treat this water to feed Ghanaians or to provide for Ghanaians, it shouldn't be burdening on the ordinary Ghanaian to do that. It is just a policy issue, it's a directive issue that the government has to crack the whip, get these things through, and let the people. So I think that PURC or any regulatory authority that is in charge of this should not make lazy explanations or lazy justifications as to why they have to burden the ordinary Ghanaian. It mustn't be for you to get up and adjust tariffs higher and say that these are our reasons. Look, we were recently imposed on with Dumsor levy. That was going to be the pioneer to end Dumsor. We have Dumsor is still being experienced. Recently, Accra and some few areas within the cities have had some level of stability. But if you go to the north, where I come from, almost every day there's Dumsor. Sometimes you go even 2 days, 3 days without light, no explanation. I don't know what Netco, Northern Electricity is. That's a just as ECG here, Netco is in charge. I don't know what they are doing over there. Now people have, so if you go and set up an industry there, you are most likely have to rely on plant where you have to buy more fuel, and the fuel you will buy to fuel the plant has been imposed upon by a Dumsor levy. And so, I mean, everything is just going haywire. Everything is being done, and this is not the reset we were promised. I mean, a reset would mean that things will be done differently. Granted that the previous managers weren't up to task, and you promise a reset, bold one, of course, and you come and everything is just going. Corruption in every institution hasn't changed. I mean, mismanagement of our state, because Auditor General report keeps clearly stating all of these things. Our water bodies keep becoming terrible. Dumsor levy, even in the face of the sharp increase in fuel, is still imposed upon us. I mean, that's worrying. That's worrying. And then today we wake up getting adjustments higher, no adjustment lower. All the time we get adjustments of our tariffs increasing day in and out. And your explanation is that you need money for the producer of electricity and water, that being Ghana Water Company and ECG. We should pay you money to keep this in, when we could just lock up the losses that we have, or prevent the losses that we have been making, and the level of mismanagement that we have. Look, how much are they paid per diem for their meetings and all of these things? Look, there should be some amount of discipline. There should be some people, a hair's rolling in these institutions for us to have some level of discipline. To really state that President Mahama's reset that he talked about was not just a mere rhetoric. Because earlier last year when I came here, I said, like, President Mahama have no excuse to fail. You know why I stated that?
Tell me.
He didn't have an excuse to fail as a president because he has seen it all. He has seen it all in the sense that he's been in government, he's been in governance longer than any politician as far as this country is concerned. He served as a deputy minister, he served as a minister, he served as running mate, he served as vice president, he served as president, and he's back as a president. And I don't think that there's any nitty-gritty in governance in this country that should be strange to him. there shouldn't even be the case that he's not aware. He doesn't need briefing from anybody to know what is happening in any agency and what he needs to crack. But what are we seeing? Almost 2 years. President Mahama has not shown that the reset he mentioned, he's really mean it. Nothing is going on. Nothing really going on. And I'm scared of where our governance is headed to. If such an experienced politician who has been a president before, sat in opposition for 8 years and came back. Me being an opposition politician, I stated on your show that President Mahama, by virtue of his experience, did not have any reason to fail. But today, it is beyond failure. Today, it is beyond failure because every sector of our economy is bleeding. Every sector of our economy is bleeding. You may say I'm veering off the topic. DRIP that President Akufo-Addo's government thought about and procured these machines and brought. The national coordinator of DRIP is crying that there are no releases from the finance ministry for them to even train their operators and all of that. Recently, you saw the banter between our Greek ministry and the ministry. Do you know, Kwame? We have over 4 million of the Ghanaian people into farming, but this government distributed 40,000 bags of fertilizer, or they have dispatched, not even distributed, to be given to these about 4 million farmers. So you can just do the calculation. Batch. Oh, what is first batch? We are in June. We are entering July. When will you need fertilizer? We needed fertilizer in the first week of June, and then by middle of July, that's when fertilizer will be needed. After July, what do we need fertilizer for? I'm a farmer myself. 40,000 bags of fertilizer have been procured for this number of farmers. In the 5 northern regions alone, we have over 800,000 people into active farming.
Gonna wrap up on ECG, PURC.
And
we don't digress.
So I am saying that an experienced politician like President Mahama, who I believed last year that the mandate the good people of Ghana gave him, by virtue of the mandate, the unprecedented victory he secured, should have been an alarm singing and hitting in his mind that I got no reason to fail. But he's currently beyond the word failure. There's failure in every sector. Every sector of our economy is bleeding. Electricity tariffs rising. Water tariffs rising. Cost of living becoming unbearable. Cost of rent becoming unbearable. No regulation. No regulation. Everywhere is bleeding. And this is when, look, they have the opportunity. They have more than 2 years to turn things around. I want to believe. I am a patriotic citizen of our republic, and I have always stated we do not expect President Mahama to fail to guarantee Bawumia's presidency. Even if President Mahama works well, the good people of Ghana would understand why they have to change and give Bawumia the opportunity to also come and serve. We do not pray for him to fail to get Bawumia elected. He has no reason to fail. He is failing, but I think that he still have more than 2 years to sit up with his government, crack the whip, reshuffle, and get the right man in the various offices to turn things around. ECG shouldn't be recording such heavy losses. ECG shouldn't be timid enough not to recover funds from state institutions that are defaulting. Okay? I mean, ECG shouldn't have MDs who are giving excuses and lamenting with us. Look, leadership is not for the faint-hearted. The appointees of the president, I believe, may be those failing him, because by virtue of his experience, I do not think that he should be failing. Maybe the appointees he has put in various institutions are failing him every sector, every angle, and it's becoming really, really concerning that I am not just speaking as an MPP communicator. I am speaking as a very concerned person.
Okay.
Because by virtue of my stance last year that he did not have any reason to fail, I still believe he did not have any reason to fail.
Let me get Fred into the conversation. It is under his watch, and the rates have consistently gone up. They've not been reviewed. There's always this talk of the figures looking great, all of these indicators looking very great. But when it comes to this particular area, there's literally zero stability. Even if it is a 1% increase, it is still an increase. And at this point, we're being told that electricity is going to be going up by 3.49%, with water also rising by 0.5%. I've seen some people already posting on social media that they have not seen water running through their pipes in months, but every now and then somebody is bringing them a bill. They don't know how that thing works.
It's terrible.
Secret, let me hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to use this platform to say a very good morning to my boss Abdullah Sakra and Dr. Samuel Aye. My brother Ibrahim has learned how to do propaganda because from what he was saying, he has done a lot of propaganda.
Like what exactly?
You understand propaganda. He has said a whole lot of things which are not true.
Okay.
So I would say he's doing well. Okay, he also mentioned that before I come to the main topic, he said coal stores are collapsing in Ghana. That is what he said. There is a coal store in Fadama.
Because of increases in electricity tariffs.
Yes, that is what he said. There is a coal store in Fadama. Okay, the name is Adom Coal Store.
North Kamishi Fadama here.
Yes. Okay. The coal store didn't collapse in 2023, a year where we recorded about 52% increment in electricity tariff. The coal store didn't collapse. But this time around, he mentioned that we are doing 14.
Adom coal store could just be a minute one.
Yes, he's saying that
in the space.
He's saying that we are doing 14% in 2025. So when you compare 52% and 14%, which one is doing well?
It still doesn't mean that there hasn't been an increase.
No, there has been an increase. That is why I said I'll come there. I'm just justifying what he said. You understand the point I'm making? Now, as far as electricity is concerned, every Ghanaian ought to pay an amount for that, because when you talk about electricity, you are talking
haven't said
about.
We won't pay.
I'm coming. When you talk about electricity, you are talking about producers, transmitters, distributors, and what have you. You understand? Now let's dive into tariff. Tariff basically means the amount of money we pay for consuming electricity, considering current economic factors or current economic conditions. Okay,
and you are managers of the economy,
yes.
Remember?
So in the context of energy economics, tariff is the equilibrium amount between the consumer and the IPPs, or you can say utility service providers. That is what tariff means. Now the IPPs are the independent power producers. You understand the point I'm making?
I'm following.
If you say equilibrium amount, what it means is that it is an amount that has been considered in that consumers will get affordable electricity and water, and the IPPs, that is the service providers, will also get an amount of money that will help them recover the cost they made. So when you talk about tariff, it means that you are considering the other side. You understand? Now tariff is divided broadly in Ghana into two, and we know they are regulated by PURC. Okay, they are regulated into two. We have the major tariff review, which is done every 3 to 5 years. Then we have the quarterly tariff review. Now in Ghana, for the previous years, we were stick to using the major tariff review. What it means is that, assuming we have there is a review for the year 2020 to 2024, it means that the review that will be done over there for those years is the major review. And what it means is that there will not be any form of increment from 2020 to 2024. Okay, so every month the amount you are going to pay will be consistent. So for example, let's say the increment from that year, the major review, is say 1%. What it means is that you are going to pay 1% in these years without any adjustment or increment or maybe a decrement. That is what the thing is, unless maybe the government decides to go otherwise. Now, in the operations of PURC, the quarterly tariff review is in the works or in the operations of the PURC. It is allowed. Just that previous government believed that the amount of money paid during the quarterly adjustment or the quarterly review is insignificant, and as a result of that, most of them also pardoned Ghanaians from paying until somewhere 2023, that the MPP and the PRC under the MPP decided to revisit that operations in the mandate of the PRC. That is the quarterly adjustment. So you could see that in somewhere 2022 September thereabout, the tariff we paid in this country was 27.15%. Okay, now 2023, that is where the idea of the quarterly review came into existence. Okay, though as I said, it is already there, but under the leadership of the MPP in PURC, they decided to revisit the quarterly adjustment. And you could recall that, let me state it clear here for you. In the first quarter, they paid 29.96% in the first quarter. The second quarter, they paid 18.36% in 2023. In the third quarter, they paid 4.22%. In the fourth quarter, they paid 1.52%. Now, when you add all these things together, it means that in 2023 alone, they were doing 52%. You understand the point I'm making? So, when the MPP realized that, oh, okay, so maybe I don't know what they considered, but it could be that when they introduced the quarterly review, they realized that, oh, we can get money from the quarterly review. As a result of that, in 3rd December 2024, Ghana had a staff level agreement with the IMF, and it is on record. There are documents to that. They met with the IMF, and in the meeting, PRC, they concluded that PRC should implement a quarterly tariff review.
Why are we meeting the IMF?
Is that
why
no,
do
no,
we meet
were,
them?
we were in a
No, I'm just asking a general question. Why do we meet
Okay.
them? Because we have mismanaged.
Very good.
The
They have
countries that have
mismanaged.
managed their economies properly, they don't have meetings with IMF.
Yes. So
we
you-
have mismanaged. So when I raised that point, you see, I allowed you to go. When I raised that point about you asking me to pay, it is not necessarily about me not being in a position to pay. But if you are managing the space properly, maybe it could have been 1%. Maybe it could have been 0.5. Maybe it could have been 0.001. Because if I look at 3.49%, with the greatest of respect, if I'm paying 100 Ghana cedi every month, and I have to pay, so that will be an addition of 3.49%. So that would be about 4 cedis. I don't honestly think I'm going to be angry to pay an additional 4 cedis. But all I'm saying is that you cannot, for want of a better way, not manage the organization properly. And every now and then you are coming to me because you know that I don't have an option. You are coming to me to offset your debts. And everyone, no matter how small the figure is, would raise concerns. And I guess that is fair.
You know, yes, it is very fair. But you know, from the beginning, I said that as far as you use electricity, you ought to pay for tariff.
Yes.
You get it. Now, the reason why you have to pay for tariff is that these IPPs, the independent power producers, the private, you know, before I forget, our electricity or the power industry, it is made up of private and public. Okay. Now, as a result of that, the private is the thermal plant. The private is the thermal plant, which the thermal plant, the ones the IPPs, the ones that produce or the fuel it produce electricity for us. And then the public ones, we have the Akosombo, the Bui, and what have you. So what I'm trying to say is that as far as we buy fuel, as far as we buy gas, as far as even sometimes the fuels, the Jubilee fields and what have you, sometimes when they shut down for maintenance, we go into buying direct fuel, and these fuels are very expensive. So whether you like it or not, tariff, you are going to pay the tariff, but the rate of the increment is where we have problem with. Okay, and that is where I have a problem. So in my explanation, I was giving you the processes that led to the quarterly. See, previous years we used to pay for tariff, but it is the major tariff review that we all know. Because of that, we were not seeing the reality, or we were not seeing that, okay, this is the amount we pay. Because when Mr. Kwame, you are supposed to pay 1% in the course of 5 years, you will not feel the impact because every year you pay. But this time around, because we are doing the quarterly review, that is how come every Ghanaian is facing the reality over here. You understand the point I'm making? So to finish with what I said, when the MPP went the agreement with the IMF, okay, where they instructed the PURC to implement a quarterly tariff agreement for 36 months. 36 months means that PURC should, do the quarterly adjustment for 3 years, and that is what we are doing. So, for me as an NDC communicator and a Ghanaian, I know all hands are not the same. Some people, are staying alone, and these people, I believe you were following what I was saying. Yes, so I'm saying that it is because of that quarterly review. That is why we are paying that. But I am hoping and believing that very soon, the necessary things should be done so that Ghanaians will also be comfortable. You know, when you go to our various homes, the commercial side and the industries, there are levels of money people pay. Okay, some people are staying alone. Some people are staying alone. As a result of that, the monies they are going to pay for electricity and water will be low compared to the amount of money maybe you and your family is going to pay or are going to pay. So when you compare these two people together, then it means that the government needs to step in. You understand the point I'm making? And you see, with Ghana, the tariff conditions we are going through, the government has done a lot. But the reason why we are struggling now is because of the quarterly tariff. Now, the quarterly tariff came into existence because of high inflation. That's why they brought the quarterly tariff. And it also came into existence because as at that rate, the exchange rate fluctuations was too much. Because today, when the dollar is 10 cedis, tomorrow it will be 13 cedis, the next day will be 14 cedis. So it wasn't stable. As a result of that, the IPPs too were losing. That is how come PRC together with, the various sectors across, they agreed to go by the quarterly review. So the MPP should not sit here and make it seem that it is President Mahama that has introduced the quarterly. I mentioned 36 months. We are not done with the 36 months. If the 36 months, which is 3 years, because they started 2024, 2025, that was the agreement. So if the 3 years comes and the NDC is still following the footsteps of, whatever the MPP started, that is where some of us will also blame the government. But as far as the MPP started, they shouldn't sit here and make it seem to Ghanaians that it is the MPP, the NDC that started. Now, before I conclude, my brother said, President Mahama promised reset, but we are not seeing anything. There are a lot of things Ghanaians have seen as far as President Mahama's administration is concerned. But if my brother, on the other hand, is saying that he has not seen anything, I want to remind him that there was a time under the MPP we had about 850,000 Ghanaians that were below the poverty line. At the time, because now
and today was the number.
I'm coming. My mother will say, to the extent that people cannot even buy food or even buy water. That is what it means, and it is on record. Ghana Statistical Service, the IMF, they concluded that about 850,000. Now, under President Mahama in 2025, 360,000 are out from 360,000. People are out from the poverty line.
So within 1 year you did that?
Yes, within 1 year. It is on the record.
What did you do to do that?
Now, what did they do?
No, what did you do? Because you say you have moved it from X figure to Y figure. Yes, so what did you do?
Now,
yes.
You are in a country where a time came that inflation went up to 50. Okay, you were in a country where a time came the dollar rised up to almost 17.
How much did they leave it for you when they were exiting? It wasn't 54.
It was what?
It was 23.1
exactly,
when they
23,
were leaving.
But now we are doing 3. We are doing 3. So
is it reflective enough in our pockets?
No, I'm coming. Now it is 3. Okay. Now the dollar even came down as at the time to 10 cedis, and now we are doing 11 something. You understand the point I'm making? Now, when you talk about inflation, let me read something here. A general increase in the prices of goods and services.
That is basic
time.
definition.
That is the basic definition. So what it means is that when a bag of rice, is sold 100 cedis, maybe you went to the market to go and purchase a bag of rice, and you went this day, it is 100 cedis. The next day or the next week, when you went, Now that same bag of rice is 120. That is the hyperinflation we are talking about under the NPP. But this time around, because inflation is 3, what it means is that when you buy this rice 100 cedis now, the following month or 2 when you go, it is 300 cedis. That is the explanation for inflation, and that is what has helped Ghanaians elevate from the poverty line to the current state. Because now when you have 10 cedis, then you can use the 10 cedis to buy something, say an oil, for example. Okay, now in the next 3 months, you can use the same 10 cedis to buy the oil.
So in a sense, you're saying our spending power has improved.
Perfectly. Now, under the NPP, when you have the 10 cedis to buy this ball of rice, or maybe you buy this rice 10 cedis or oil 10 cedis, in the next week when you go, the same rice or the same oil will be 50 cedis. As a result of that, people were not able to buy it. That is the point NPP sent out. That is why we had about 850,000 people under the poverty line. And President Mahama has done well. So I am trying to tell him that.
And this figure is coming from the Ghana
Statistical Service. Go and verify. That is what I am telling him that.
We'll go and check.
Please, I'm coming. Let me. That is why I'm telling him that if he has not seen anything as far as the reset agenda is concerned, I've given him one. He should go and read about it and read about all the implementations.
Yeah, this one is data we can always inquire from. But just before you land on this one, are you in a position to tell us how much has been generated because you speak for governments from the 1 cedi fuel levy?
No.
Okay. All right. So let me move on to. But Gomna, you want to come in quickly, just a minute, and then we'll move to other issues.
I feel shy when I hear these people talking about poverty reduction and all of that.
That's what I'm saying. This is data we can verify.
What
what
data are you talking about?
Yeah.
Is there any data more than our cost of living? Cost of living has increased. I just stated,
what are you buying?
Look, let me tell you. I just stated. You say inflation has fallen. I've been using transport.
So prices are fairly stable. That's the point.
What is fairly stable? Which price is fairly stable?
The increase is not sharp.
What percentage of our country are into farming? Let me just limit myself to farmers. A bag of fertilizer under Kufuado was around 400 cedis or so.
That's how much you bought it.
Today, it's 500 cedis or more. What is he talking
What
about?
has led to the jump? Because you are there.
Ask them what has led to it.
What did he say?
Let me come.
You are in the space, so I'm asking you directly.
Hello, let me.
What have you been told has led to the jump?
Let me tell him why he shouldn't even talk about cost of reduction in poverty. Look, you were paying, what do you call it? Let's say 150 cedis to buy 1 bag of rice under NPP in 2024. And you were paying electricity bill 70 cedis a month. Today, you are paying electricity bill 150 or 170 cedis a month.
That is a ridiculous jump.
That
analysis doesn't work.
No, it works
because it hasn't done from 70 to 160.
I'm telling you,
it hasn't.
This is what is happening now.
This percentage increase will not move it from 70 to 160. This one is math. We cannot do
so let's say you were paying 100 cedis. Today you are paying 170.
It's not possible.
It is
because the jump is not 70%, and you know that.
It's not about being 70%.
No, but if you move from 100 to 170, that is a 70% increase.
Let's take to the value.
100. If it was 200, that is a 100% increase. So if it's 100 to 170, it is 70%, and you know that is not the case.
Have increased woefully all across.
Artificially.
Where?
Transport fares.
Artificially.
What is artificially?
The drivers are choosing to charge their own fares.
Why are they not within the country? Are they not lost in the country?
No. From my place, I've been paying consistent
Government has failed to regulate.
Oh no, it's a lie. You can't.
No, what is it? Spare parts are expensive. Why don't you expect drivers to increase their transport fares? Look, it is not anything about artificial. Nobody should blame any driver. It's the incompetence of this government. Look, let these people not lie you or lie to the people of Ghana. Life is very unbearable for Ghanaians. Nobody has reduced any poverty anywhere in this country. These guys have no clue how. What policy did they initiate? What did they do? Are they not even citing inflation to say anything?
You just listen to him. I'm surprised you are asking me.
I am just telling you that quash their so-called data. Let's talk to the reality. I'm a Ghanaian. You're a Ghanaian. You know the reality in this country. You know what we go through. How many people?
The reality is that the dollar is stable, and if I have to import it,
is the reality not the case that the reality not the case that transport fares have increased? Is the reality not the case that tariffs have increased more than expected? Is the reality not the case that, farm inputs have increased? Is the reality not? Is that not reality?
What is a measure or the rate of increase for you as a farmer? So, for example, if you are buying machetes, if you're buying hoes, if you're buying a combined harvester, or if you're buying seeds or chemicals or whatever,
and in 2024,
consistently between 2016 and 2024, and between 2025 7 January and now, consistently, what has been the rate of increase? You are there, so tell us yourself. You are there.
Farming, let your producer reach out to any farming community in the North, Ejura, or anywhere, and ask, how much was the price of an acre plowing in 2024? In 2024, I'm coming. By tractor plowing. In 2024, an acre was 150 cedis. Today is 300 cedis. Ask anyone.
What has led to the jump?
Ask them.
Oh, I should be asking you. You are there.
Am I the one to explain this?
No. So, for example, when you ask the tractor driver, why is he now
spare
charging
parts are still expensive, or even more than they were.
That's what he tells you.
I am just telling you the reality.
These same spare parts that they import with dollars, that the city doing well against the dollar.
Is
that not weakness?
That is the miracle. That's the miracle.
No, but is that not weakness on the part of the spare part service? Because if the dollar is stable, these are basic conversations.
These people are running a cosmetic government. The settings is too much.
Okay, so
and
you are selling.
They only have the decrease in the dollar on paper.
Again, let's do this math. So, for example, the dollar was. Let's say 15 cedis. I'm not saying so 15 cedis, and you are selling this mobile phone at, let's say, 200 cedis. Now let's say the dollar is 10.
They still pay huge. They pay huge duties at the port.
You are still charging at 15.
Who takes the
so
duty
when you
from
speak
them?
to them, the issues they raise taxes at the port. Then they raise maybe cost of renting a shop. Then they add water. Then they add electricity.
Yes.
But should that justify
why you want
to increase it by that percentage?
Is it not
greed on
the part of the government that regulates the port? Who regulates the port? It's not government. If the dollar falls, why are we not having lower duties at the port?
Are you sure?
Why are we not having lower duties at the port? If the dollar has fallen, why are we still experiencing all these increases all across? So they have a very justifiable reasons why they should increase all of these things. Nobody should come and tell you anybody is wicked. Who regulates everybody in this country? It's not the government. So these people should be shy. They should feel shy not to even come and tell us stories about we have increased poverty. How did you increase poverty? What does NDC know about poverty reduction? What policy do they have?
The records are there.
What policy? What policy have these people implemented?
You will give me some few minutes to respond to some of the claims.
Let's get serious in this country. Okay. These people shouldn't come and lie to us.
I'll give separate.
If you respond, I also respond.
Because you rebutted to what he said. So it's only fair that I give an opportunity, and then we move.
So I have to respond.
Separate 1 minute.
My brother Ibrahim said a lot of things.
1 minute. 1 minute. Yes.
About the standard of living. I want to remind my brother that I have a very special mother who has a store, a provision store at this place.
You don't have to tell us the location.
Alaji Tabora, what have you. During the NPP time, the oil, the gallon of oil, we were buying it at close to 1,000 and 1,200 thereabout. But as I'm talking to you right now, you can go to any shop and ask. Now you can get to 700 cedis. So if you want to compare the standard of living, now somebody who sells Kele Willy can get an oil for 700 cedis. This time I'm comparing to the same person buying the oil 1,200 the time NPP was in power. Now when you compare these two analysis, which one is doing well?
Okay, we can all do the maths, so we'll leave that to the listener to decide. So let's move on.
He says
let's move on.
He indicated that I was lying. I think that he should have tell you that you have no. But the things I stated that he said I was.
Yes, I wanted to come there.
Look, the things I said is I wanted to. I mentioned about increasing first.
I wanted to come there.
I mentioned tractor plowing. He hasn't disputed it.
So you want him to respond?
1 second. 1 second.
But you just said you mentioned
okay, let him respond.
One minute.
Respond to the issues I raised.
With the first, I will talk about the first because the farming I'm not there, so I wouldn't know the.
Okay, talk about the first.
But with the first. Now, when I came to Accra, somewhere in 2024, from Fadama Junction to Circle, we were paying 6 cedis. Now, when the NDC came and they reduced it, so we were paying 5 cedis from Fadama Junction to Circle. And as I'm talking to you right now, we are paying 5 cedis. So what do you mean by that? From Fadama Junction to La Paz, we were paying 3 cedis when NPP was in power.
When was the last time you traveled to Kumasi?
2.2 cedis.
Okay,
So that is where I know. And when you go to Cape Coast, me that I schooled at UCC, I was a student at UCC.
What's the lorry fare
when
from
the
here
NPP
to
was in power, when you come to Accra and going back, it was around 150, 120.
Today is
now it is 100 cities when you pay for it.
You see, you just peddle lies.
Just recently, I went to Cape Coast.
Let's move on.
It is 100 cities and it is on record. Everybody, the transport
things we can
it
check.
is 100 cities.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
It is 100 cities. So I'm telling you, you are lying. You are sitting here lying.
Let's move on. Let's move on. The rains are coming. So let's move on. Let's move on. The rains are coming. But it's not. It's not.
Just do this finance.
Yes, do this finance.
Relax.
See, I can call the first station right now. It is 100 cities. During your time, you were paying 120.
Relax.
Relax.
Relax. The rains are coming. The rains are coming.
These guys are
and the rains are causing, a fair bit of issues. Let me put it that way. To the extent that there was a very worrying story over the internet over the weekend, and yesterday a number of newspaper organizations also carried it as well, together with other social media portals. The floods and the damages that they are causing. The worst we have seen is around the Samreboy area. I'm sure you've seen that, and how Galamsey has found its way into that conversation as well. So I want us to look at the two together. Are we managing the issues with the rains? Because the rains are a good thing. It is what you do that will cause you problems. Are we managing the flood situations in the best of ways? Because the rains are not going to stop at this point, or they are not stopping anytime soon. And then, in the case of, for example, a case like water, and I like the fact that you mentioned that, we are still clearly doing the Galamsey. It is causing a lot of distraction. The chemicals are still being used. We still need to find money to treat it. So one small rain, look at the consequences. I want you to box the two together for me.
Yeah, on the issues of floods, especially Accra floods, is that not the case? I'll come to the Galamsey.
The floods clearly are not restricted to only Accra alone. Now I see pictures from everywhere.
Yes, it's becoming really worrying across the country. I think one of the things that we have to critically look at is our drainage system. When our drainage system is well looked at with very well laid out, crafted engineering knowledge, we are able to partially tackle the drainage system. Secondly, I would have to look at our ourselves as citizens, our level of discipline, because our dumping into gutters and our level of indiscipline in how we dump is another thing that we have to look at. In fact, it contributes, I can say, in my own estimation, the level of discipline, lack of discipline among citizens contributes, in my own estimation, not less than 70% of why our floods increase day in and out. And when you come to the issue of flood, when you come to the issue of Galamsey, my position hasn't changed, especially when it comes to Galamsey. Last year in your studio, I indicated that the fight against Galamsey cannot be won by a politician. That's my unrepentant position, which hasn't changed. We can sit here and criticize whoever is the government in power or whoever is the president, and the cycle will continue. When there is a change in government and a new president comes, Galamsey will still linger around, and we would still have to put a politician or two on the table to criticize them by virtue of the fact that they are holding the power of the people of Ghana at that material moment. But my position on Galamsey, which has been consistent across all my engagements in the media, is that Galamsey fight cannot be won by politicians alone.
Because they themselves are involved.
They are deeply involved. In fact, I say that your media or the media allegedly is been deeply involved. The CSOs allegedly are deeply involved. The chiefs are allegedly involved. The level of involvement may not be that a media practitioner in Accra has gone to buy a concession and put excavators inside. It may not be that that's the level of involvement I would say the media is involved. But what would be the level of involvement as far as the media is concerned? Erastus Asaredonko, I hail him almost every day. He has done his bit in every government to expose the levels of galamsey across the country. He hasn't gotten it easy. He has faced it from political actors. He has faced it from chiefs. He has faced it from bandits who protect these criminals in the forest, destroying, I call them environmental terrorists. But I tell you, if the media stands fearlessly behind a young man across and expose this rot, I think that we will go a long way. But have you seen that? For almost a year now, the media has gone to sleep. But no, they are not tired. Galamsey is getting really terrible day in and out. But because it is not reported out, we assume it's okay.
We see it. It's not something you can.
No, but it's not
when
aggressive. Like
around,
we only use 2 weeks to talk about Galamsey, and then
every time I have the
especially
opportunity,
whenever Erastus reports something intriguing, then we all run and come and sit here. We talk. Oh, Najwa Mahama, President Akufo-Addo, and we talk. We blame. I'm saying that this is my proposal. My proposal that has consistently remained is that every district belongs to a traditional authority. Every constituency has a traditional demarcation. Let's have a fair conversation. Let's try our best to reduce the politics. That's why I told you that President Mahama do not have a reason to fail in any sector of the economy. Even though he's failing, but I still have a fair hope that he can sit down, reflect, and tell himself, maybe the men around me, let me do something about it. And maybe the consultation hasn't been deep enough. Because I speak on Galamsey with some high level of passion. That look, politician, whoever is the president of Ghana, I'm sorry to say, would not win the fight against Galamsey.
Okay.
Because we exploit it to win votes. And we come and we are the main actors, deeply rooted as politicians in it. In fact, a bigger chunk of the budget of politicians allegedly come from these actors. Politicians cannot crack the whip on Galamseyers. I am sorry to say.
Let me give
that.
Maybe a few
Let me just land.
We'll do Black Stars.
Yeah, let me just land. So when it comes to the issue of Galamsey, I believe that our chiefs and kings are supposed to be given some high level of. We just need to assist them with security, and then they lead a charge. And I'm telling you, we will uproot all these criminals from the forest. I've seen Otufo doing a very great job distooling chiefs who have allowed these Galamseys heavily in their traditional areas. I've seen a few of them being distilled, and I believe that I commend a King of Asante for such bold decisions. If all other areas are able to take up such a queue, I'm sure that the winning of against Galamsey government will just need a smaller budget to assist the chiefs, which would be like 0.00% of what is being expended every year to fight Galamsey from the government point of view, because the people in government will fight the people in government on the fight against Galamsey.
Okay, let me give Secretary the last word on this one briefly. You can add the Black Stars to it
Ibrahim.
As well. We've got
I think
5 minutes to wrap up.
This time around, I agree with my brother with a lot of things.
And you always agree to disagree.
With the exception of, two things he mentioned, that President Mahama is failing. And
we've moved past that. Yeah, we've moved past that.
It's not failing.
We've moved past that.
Yeah. And he said that the political parties get huge of their budget from the allegedly. But I would say that we in the end we don't get our budget or money from the Galamsey.
We have
now, with the issue of Galamsey, for me, I think that we shouldn't do politics about it. Okay. Now mining is very important, and mining has come to stay. Okay. but we call it galamsey when you don't have the necessary permit. That is where we call you an illegal mining. But mining is very important. Mining is very necessary. Now, the reason why it is illegal mining is that you get a land without the approval from the Minerals Commission or anybody involved, the Minister for Lands. Then you go and mine over there because you don't have any approval. So you wouldn't know where exactly the gold is. So they found the habit of digging around anyhow. That is how come it becomes illegal mining. So for me, in order to prevent this illegal mining, since Ghana, we need mining. I mean, to stabilize our economy, we need mining because mining provides jobs for a lot of people. We should be able to regulate it together. The churches to come together, political parties, both opposition and in power, religious leaders, everybody, journalists, everybody should be involved so that we can transition from the galamsey or the illegal mining to mining because mining has come to stay. Understand the point I'm making? And how are you going to do that? That is where under the NPP they started the community mining. It was a brilliant idea to help, tackle the illegal mining. But unfortunately, they were not able to, achieve that because of the involvement of foreigners into our local concessions. So what it means was that if you are in Takwa, okay, the communities people are fighting that we want to do it, but government was giving the concessions or the leases to maybe foreign people to come and dig over there. As a result of that, the community people decided to, if you will not give us the concession, then we also go somewhere to dig. That is why the galamsey thing came in. Now, under the NDC, we are starting the responsible cooperative mining, where we are going to bring together the community. This time around, we said if you are doing the mining in Takwa, it is the Takwa community that is going to operate over there. So meaning that you will not give the concession to somebody outside Takwa. It is the Takwa people we are going to do. So we hope that bringing that initiative on board, which is similar to the community mining, but different ways of operation, it is going to help reduce the illegal mining that we do. And also, it is the behavior of the Ghanaians or the miners or the galamseyers. I stay in Elembele constituency. They do mining a lot. I've been in Amenfi West, Amenfi Central, and what have you, Takwa, all these places I've been there. See, if you are a government and you decide that, okay, I am going to stop these galamseyers, they have problem with you. If you are a government, and especially the NIMOS, you see, sometimes when it is reported that NIMOS is coming, these galamseyers will go and buy guns to face the NIMOS face to face. I have a friend, rough, jokingly he said, President Mahama with Jimmy Pad. I said, oh, why? Now, Yeska. And they told you, I was so bad collapsing. So that is the mindset. You know what happened at Samra Boy? When they are doing illegal mining, you tell them to stop. They will not mine you. They keep on doing the illegal mining. You see what happened to them. So I see it a way of God, telling us that the land that you are destroying has a purpose, and the purpose
it will come back to haunt you. Are we winning today? Are we winning?
Oh, we are winning. My prediction is that I have two predictions.
Hey.
It is either we win 1-0 or 2-1.
Ghana, are we winning today?
Ghana.
Are we winning today? No lecture. Are we winning today?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I believe in our men. I believe in miracle as well. England is not a funny team. England is a serious team. So Ghana, we believe in spirituality. Spirituality can save us. And as long as Benjamin Asari is going to be in the goalpost, myself and Benjamin Asari, we are all Shatter Movement fans. So,
I'm also
the Shatter Movement crew, we are praying heavily behind him. Yes. And he always has that grace of stopping the ball from coming to our goalpost. So I believe that miracle may happen.
And we'll win.
And hey.
Okay, let me take some messages and then we're out of here. Good morning, Kwame. What do they mean by real value of tariff while the smart meters are running like Usain Bolt? ECG is overburdening Ghanaians. It should be privatized. Okay. Oh, Charlie. Internet. Okay. I hear you, John Abbott. Thank you very much for your message. Okay. I get it. Okay. You say Ghanaians are buying water. The water has gone up from 5 to 10 Ghana cedi with Kofor gallon. The dollar is down, but items are being increased all the time. What is this? Okay. Good morning, Kwame. Why do you okay, yeah, the politicians would always agree and disagree on these issues. You say allow we the citizens to talk about ways to develop Ghana, talk about our health, which they are destroying through their greed, and taking us generally for granted. Tell them, you say we should throw the politicians out. Okay, Antiaba, I hear you. Good morning, I'm Tony from Shukura. NDC is better than MPP, but they are all useless. And with them, it will take us 100 or it will take us 1,000 years to develop. All they know is to equalize. Okay, thank you. This one says price of maize is down. Rice and oil are also down. Cooking in the house, you say, is now cheap. Okay. Good morning, Kwame. Please ask the MPP man if he drinks or buys the same things that we all buy. Okay. The water and electricity that we had to pay double plus e-levy, we are going to pay more again. Okay, you ask. Okay. Do you want to win out to about 1 million Ghana cedis this day? Well, pick up your phone and dial star 850 star 5 hash to play now. And it's easy to play. When you dial that, choose your station to play the game. You select the stake amount between 5 and 2,000 Ghana. Choose your lucky card out of the 5 options, confirm gameplay, and enter your Momo PIN. And you get to receive your game results and winnings instantly. It's easy, it's fun, and it's exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win. And you could be winning up to 1 million Ghana cedi. Once you do that, who knows? Review Scratch for Win, Scratch Keke, Nidi Sikase, bam. And it's strictly for persons who are 18 and above. Let me say a big thank you to Siegfried and a big thank you to Gomna as well for joining us in the studio this morning. God willing, we'll be here same time tomorrow between 5:50 and 10. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we wish the Black Stars the best of luck as they go in